YouTube. It's Brian Phillips. It's been like 30 seconds, so we figured we would open another one right now. This thing better be as good as we've heard, because we are up to our eyeballs in airplanes.
We are.
And you know what that thing means. It means you better hurry up and order some gifts for your friends and family. And if you want to help Brian Phillips RC, look no further than the links in the video description below. You can get one of these beautiful planes, whatever it is. I don't even know what it is, except I can read English.
Or in the pinned comment. It's an upside down plane.
Oh yeah, it's a 90mm Super Scorpion V2, amazing. And ours is in this color. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. They also have it in orange. It's a little bit different than the old one.
Yes.
We never did the V1. Full disclosure. Okay. And so we're curious to see how this goes. I've got very limited experience with this plane.
Oh, sir.
Is it going?
Yep.
Okay. So we're gonna lay this down. This comes in 6 or 8S. I don't know which one we got, but you need to make sure you designate that when you're ordering, okay? This one says it's 8S version.
Oh.
So that means it's gonna be super fast.
It's the Super Scorpion?
The Super Scorpion. Yeah, oh, here you go. Here it is.
Oh.
8S, 6S, 6S, 8S. So you can get orange or camo. So I did want the camo, so I'm excited about the camo. I'm not sure about the 8S though, because I'm not 100% sure we have a battery for that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to get creative. But that's what we do on Brian Phillips RC. We creatively meet insane deadlines, and that's what we keep doing. For years we've been doing it. For 10 years.
Almost.
Of perfect bliss, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
There's never been a stressful or irritating moment.
Never.
Ever.
I mean, not for me.
Oh, you're gonna be so pleased.
Seriously, FMS. Seriously.
Do you want to tell FMS to FMS themselves?
Yes, I do. Al, can you please send FMS an email and tell them to install my control horns? Thank you, Al.
Yes, Al, do that thing. And by the way, you know, I'm not sure. It looks like maybe the flaps. Oh, by the way, on this side, oh, here's your specs. See the specs? Okay, so the 8S version has this stuff. So it wants 5,000 through 5,500 45C recommended. So this would be 5,000 through 6,000 in the 6S. Where does it change? So it looks like, yeah, so the brushless motor is different. It's a 4075 1500 kV, and it's a 3670 1950 kV. So everything else is basically exactly the same, it looks like. So you're basically looking at 120 amp ESC on both setups. Now, I'm not 100% sure that this thing will even fly on 6S if it's an 8S designation. So we'll have to do a little bit of research to answer that question. And by research, I mean I don't want it to crash because I put a smaller battery than it's calling for. But again, when it comes to 6S, 8S, you have to make the judgment call whether or not you need it. I just wish they would have like asked us what we wanted to do, because we're equipped for 6S right now. That being said, the 6S pack that I would have probably promoted in this particular plane was the 70C 5000 from China Hobbyline. And the reason, singular 90s, like in the Avanti, did just fine on the Spectrum stuff, but we have found that the Cheney hobby line have been good for jets. We've been having pretty good luck, and they're cheap.
Yeah.
In comparison, they're still expensive, you know, compared to like going to McDonald's, but.
Well, I mean.
Actually, McDonald's is pretty expensive these days. But that being said, if you guys are into McDonald's, that's fine too. You can still eat McDonald's if you want. Just follow Brian Phillips RC's links over to FMS, and you can order whatever McDonald's colored planes you need.
That's great.
Okay, so this wing looks, you know what this freaking wing looks like? You know what this wing looks like to me?
It looks
like the fish plane. Yeah.
Oh.
And look, the plug. I wonder if it's the exact same wing. It can't be the same
It's a fish
wing.
scorpion.
Yeah, but either way, okay, so we have a linkage and a linkage. Now remember, every time we complain up and down about how terrible it's gonna be, and then it works out okay, camera crew, give my rock hard, beautiful tires. Oh, look, bearings. That means it's gonna roll out forever.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, do you like the livery? Beautiful?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Gray.
It's gonna be great in the fall in Iowa.
Yeah, I know. I was literally torn about that because this plane is going to blend in with nature.
Yes.
Mother.
I think that's
nature.
why it's called camouflage. Oh, that's a really big nutsack.
Grab it, squeeze it. Thank you.
That's disappointing.
Just always looking out for the closed captions here on Brian Phillips RC. If you guys are brand new to Brian Phillips RC, my wife is a camera crew.
Yep, I am.
Okay. So she grabs my nut and bolt sack on
I've been
camera.
married for a long time.
We've been married for a long time, so I'll take it however I can get it.
Put it.
Do you have anything else you want to say? This is unpainted, which is sort of weird to me.
Yeah, it is.
But I don't care, really. Oh, yeah, and of course these are going to be like, you know, at an angle because it's a Scorpion. Pretty cool, okay. Are they sturdy? Yeah, they feel pretty stout. You know, you get into 90 millimeter airplanes that are 8S and you just generically are going to have a decent amount of quality. Let's talk about the hinge work. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 hinges. They're embedded, very smooth action. Mm-hmm. Don't need, you know, any effort to move them. Same thing here, boom, 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 smooth finish. Looks like they actually glue this on as an assembly. So 3 hinges. And then the flap is actually, that looks like a reinforced on only the rear.
Just a pinch hinge?
Pinch hinge. Pinch hinge. Oh, by the way, look at this. They folded by manual just so it was harder to read. Thanks.
Oh, that's just for you.
I don't want to punch somebody in the face for that. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to punch him in the face unless I get the opportunity. I don't like when my manuals are folded. It's kind of like when you get that stuff in the mailbox and it says, do not fold, and then they fold it in half just to stick it right
Because we
in there.
notoriously are so good at reading manuals.
We read them all the way through. Okay. Oh man, that guy's stash is looking good. His eyeballs are not too bad though.
That guy's gonna like come back into style one of these days.
One of these years. He's got like a weird like burnish tan. Maybe he's got some like radiation poisoning.
In the camo.
Oh, what the frick is this, FMS?
It's the
That's
same.
a dent.
It's the same thing
Holy
that dented
cow.
this.
Jeez, that's what you were pointing out?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, here on Brian Phillips RC, the truth, nothing but the truth. So help us God, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So
I feel like
help us God. So we have to point out every flaw.
The pilot like ruins the camo. Like my plane is camouflage. Don't mind my orange jumpsuit.
Well, I mean, if he has to jump, whoa, what's this?
That would be an elevator.
So that'd be a horizontal stabilizer and nice reinforced. Look at the action on that elevator. It's so weird. Yeah, you're not getting any more throw on this, John, from Two Brothers. Just so you know. Because it's pretty much going to run out of room.
Still figure
Squeeze that in
something
there.
out.
Okay, so as you can see, I would say it's well packed, except we've already found 2 damage points.
Yeah.
And then what the heck is going on here? What the heck is going on here? Look at this crap. Somebody at FMS, fix this junk. Look at this.
Yeah.
Damage all over up in the box. If my box is damaged, okay, the fuse is digging holes in the back. What the frick is going on here?
Our outside.
What?
box-
Look, the nose is running into the foam.
Oh, yeah.
Look, come
Yep.
over here. Show them from the backside. What the heck is going on? Somebody needs to redesign this box ASAP. This is V2. We're looking for V3. Normally we don't beat them up on packaging, but we've had damage twice already. I don't know what the heck is going on. And I can't get this stupid horizontal stabilizer out.
Cut this piece.
Yeah, yeah, right. Okay. I don't think this is in right. I think it's supposed to be in here another way or something. It's not damaged. Not this one.
Okay.
Whatever. If it's not damaged, I don't care. If it is damaged, I do care. I do care. So. All right, guys. Here on Brian Phillips RC, we try, we strive, we do our best to make long format content that's going to answer questions like, did your Scorpion get damaged in transit? Because that's the sort of thing that I would want to know if I'm spending this kind of coin.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. It's beautiful. I can hug it.
Do you need a moment?
Maybe. Look over there for a second. Okay, so boy, that thing's gonna blow hard.
Wow.
Okay. Accessibility, which is nice. And in case you forget what it's called, it says Scorpion or some such thing. Okay. And then right here, got the hand launch holes. I'm just kidding, guys. Relax.
Where are you going with that?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a place I can lay it. How about we put it here?
Okay.
It's kind of huge.
It is.
Huge.
That is gonna...
That's all the pieces, camera crew.
It's like half of our runway just when you set it down.
No, it's not that bad. Is it?
It looks big.
So sometimes when we fly the big jets, we have to cheat down onto the longer runway, which opens this up to scrutiny from some of you on YouTube.
Yes.
Mostly on Facebook. If you're listening, Facebook, we don't care what you think.
No.
Come over to YouTube. I'm just trying to stick this thing down so I can be done with it. Look at this.
You don't have to put your box back together either. When
I
you
put my
yours,
box back together and it's the
can
right thing to do.
Not be a weirdo. And
So the reason I put my box back together is because it helps me to take a second to see if I miss anything, because I have to flip it upside down. See? I didn't miss anything, I don't think.
you didn't.
So we're just gonna put this back into the coffin-sized box. Okay. It kind of blends into the counter. It's kind of, it's not a lot of pieces.
It's not a lot of pieces.
It's actually not too bad.
No.
So I'm not sure how this receiver action is gonna go too, because what I'm thinking is we have an elevator, we have inboard flaps, we have ailerons. You know, I'm not gonna do any mixing, weird like VTEL mixing on it. You could probably split these out, but I'm sure that would make it way harder than it has to be.
Right.
And by the way, let's look. What do we have for a receiver action in here? Do we have?
No, we don't have a
We have a mixing board in here. We have a mixing board. Okay, so it makes it pretty easy. We got elevator, rudder, flap. Because remember, there are two rudders. Okay. Now keep in mind, with the white with Theva, you can split your vertical stabilizers so you have two rudders. Okay.
Okay.
But we also have a steerable nose gear somewhere in here. And AS3X Plus is going to allow us to do separate steering servo. So right now we have all the normal surfaces. We should have plenty of channels. Let me just grab a handful of receiver and I'll be right back. So I have a handful of receiver here. Okay, so this is the version 3.13 because I updated that myself. The AR8360T. Now, of course, you could do more. But if you wanted, you could split them all out and you could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, -1. No, you wouldn't split your flaps. You would just leave the flaps together.
You wouldn't need to split your flaps.
So you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So could you do all those hand motions again?
No. Not doing it.
Wait, why would you?
Thrusting reverse.
Okay, but do you need to
Boom.
split out your ailerons?
If you want to do crow and craziness. full length flaps, things like that. You could.
But if you're trying to do a 10-360T,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So
then
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
11. If you're doing thrust reverse.
I was just pointing at thrust.
But you need
You would need 11
channels with that.
You would need 11 if you did thrust reverse.
Yeah.
So if you do thrust reverse, then you would not split your ailerons. Or you would not split the vertical tail. You could leave those attached.
Assuming that's a thrust reverse.
Because here's the thing, you could do flap. You could do flaps down, ailerons down, or ailerons up, so you'd have crow. And then you could do inboard rudder action if you have them split. And you could do elevator would stay an elevator, okay? But you could do televon configuration, all sorts of crazy things. We're not doing any of that crap.
No.
We're gonna set it up like a normal plane. And here's the thing, I've learned from personal experience. Now, you don't have to agree with me, and there are people that are on YouTube that wouldn't agree with me. A lot of times, I have found the more complex I set up my planes, the more of a pain in the butt it is, and it doesn't always add anything.
Right.
Sometimes it does, but usually what I have learned is that if I find out that the plane needs it, I can add it later. And it's okay, it's always okay to go back and add. It's really not that hard to add stuff later.
Sometimes you do a bunch at the beginning
and you're like, what did I do?
Yeah, then it's not as good and then you realize you just overthought it. A lot.
Yep. And you added more surfaces than you needed.
Speaking of overthinking, there is a hole in our box, right at the wingtip between stable and rigid. There is a hole in our box, but there was not a hole in our packaging box.
There's not another plane. So the gear are split here, look. This is probably the retracts though, because it says gear, because rudder is what it would say for steerable. Because that's what I'm concerned about right now, is steerable nose gear.
Okay.
Because if I have to split out steerable and it's a humongous pain in the balls, then I'm probably gonna, have to potentially rethink that. Because here's the thing, AS3X Plus makes splitting out the steerable nose gear worthwhile. Because the gain setup is so much better, okay?
Where is the nose gear?
The nose gear, it's inside of the plane.
Thank you.
Up at the front of the plane.
Good job, Sherlock.
Are you talking about, like, where's the plug?
Where is it located?
Well, what did you think I was trying to find earlier?
No, like, physically, where does it come out? That's really crucial.
If you have problems with that,
congratulations.
Because, yeah, I'm not going to have that problem. That would be so awkward. You'd run into everything walking. It'd be so awkward. Okay, so we have flaps. We have rudder. It's coming off of rudder.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is rudder is you can chase this down to here. Okay. So that's rudder. But I can't tell. It's going to be one of these two. Yeah, over here. So the way you do it is you basically have to pull them out with forceps. And it's kind of hard to do without the gear deployed.
Right.
You suppose we can deploy the gear?
Well, probably.
You want to try it?
Yeah, let's.
So, isn't that the brand of potato chips on all TV shows?
What?
Let's.
Yes?
Yeah. I don't know. I just thought of that.
I don't know why you know that.
Okay, servo tester. Okay.
Okay.
So, if you're brand new to Brian Phillips RC, we normally build these things first, but we need to know how this is going to function. So let's do plane stand actually.
It's more fun to build it like a squirrel would and just...
Like just however you imagine a squirrel might build an airplane.
Yeah, just do that.
Do that thing.
And then if you think it seems logical, just do something else first.
Or if you're brand new to the hobby and you've never done this, give me all the pointers you can give me right now so I know how to do it.
And then don't do this.
That is for all the commenters that will come on the channel and let me know what I'm doing wrong.
Wait, okay. I was gonna say, your nose gear is up here, right where you put that down. You're gonna have to go back a couple inches or forward a bunch of inches.
Yeah, I know, but this is like really awkward to lay on here.
Well, okay, there you go. You're clear. Yep.
Okay, now remember, we don't have the wings attached. The gear are not gonna come down on all the rest of it.
Correct.
Okay, so look, watch this. I'm on my servo tester. I'm in the central position. I'm gonna hook up to gear. Negative goes away from me. I wish they would have silk screened that. It's a boy. Okay, so let's flip this over all the way and let's look at it. First of all, trailing link,
Nice.
soft spring,
Yeah.
rock hard tire. Well, what the frick is so hard about soft
You can only
tires?
have one or the other.
And it's just a spring-loaded gear door, so that's kind of nice. Ooh, look, now we can tell which color it is. So the retract is red and the gear is you see that? The Futaba and Hextronics. So we have Futaba color code coming out of the actual retract, and then we have Hextronics going to the steerable.
Okay.
Yes, Hextronics going to the steerable. So now we can do a little bit of diagnostic work there, as you can tell. I gotta get myself some forceps, camera crew. So by the way, if you're brand new to the channel and you're figuring out ways to support us, because I know that's the only reason you came to the video,
Right.
definitely was not to see us building the Scorpion. When you need a weird tool like this, you can go to the supplies tab on brianphillipsrc.com and you find links to stuff like this. I think in this case, we got these at like Menards. So,
Ooh. Tool shop.
tool shop guaranteed for life to fail.
Yes.
All right, so that says rudder.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay, so there's 2 plugs there. Those go to the wing, obviously. One of these goes under there. So we just got to grab one of these. This is a rudder. So the orange goes forward. Okay, orange, you glad I told you? Mm-hmm. Okay, now I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to plug this in with the negative away from me. So it's either going to, oh, that's the steerable. How do I know? Because it just moved. Look at that, folks. It's steering away. You still got the light on.
Okay, so
Do you remember in Dumb and Dumber when he has the dream and the truck is driving toward him?
I've only seen half of that
And
movie
the
like
and
one
the
time.
lights.
I don't
Except
remember
it's
that.
not lights. What does he see?
I don't know. I don't.
Name that tune. Leave it in the comments, kids.
Okay, I have a dumb
So this is steerable.
question.
What?
How do you know that's only the steerable and not the other gear because they're not plugged in?
Do you think those steer?
No.
Okay, I think I'm done with this.
No. But wait, there's 2 rudder servos. So the other rudder servo goes to the actual rudders.
Well, I mean, based on my conclusive evidence of the fact that there are 2 wires,
Okay, so it
both
doesn't
labeled rudder.
it doesn't matter because the other ones don't move. I said it was a dumb question.
Well, you confirmed it.
Okay. I had to think through it out loud.
Okay, so
Someone else had the same question.
if somebody else had that question, it's not dumb from you.
It's only
But my
dumb for
wife
me.
has filmed me building hundreds of planes.
When I said it out loud, then it made sense.
It made sense.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Well, I'm going to give you a pass then. So this is going to be where we hook up our steerable nose gears. So I'm thinking about this just for easiness sake. You know what I'm going to do?
Not whatever makes it easier.
I just broke a knob off of our charger.
What?
Yeah, you should pause for a sec. Okay, so I got this bind cable out of a plane that we just did. It must have been a Horizon plane because it got AS3X thing on here. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use that. Actually, that's just a good marker because it's the only thing that's gonna have that.
Different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything that's different is good enough for me. So now I just need to use my forceps. Again, the bent tip forceps, by the way, if you're buying, are the better option. I use them almost exclusively. Okay, so brown is down, okay. And this is just gonna be an extension cord to make it more similar to the other lengths. We may not need the extension cord when we're all done, but then I don't have to go searching for it again.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it's gonna come from the breakout board. So it should be pretty straightforward. Now, since we've already separated that from the breakout board, then this rudder plug and this rudder plug are both gonna get plugged into separate ports. Now, while we're in here, you wanna just do the thing that we do?
And just open up the receiver. This is going to be so fun to follow along.
No.
Oh, that
All
thing.
right. I was gonna do this.
Oh, okay.
Why are we doing this right now, camera crew?
Because you're there.
Because I'm here and it's easy to reach right now.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna necessarily be easy to reach later, okay?
Well, that's why I'm saying, should we put in the voltage take the receiver and get the little volt things while we're not working around
I mean, we
wings.
could. Guys, this might be a little bit out of order, and I don't want anybody to like fall off of their chair.
We're sorry,
This could
but
be high excitement.
But we're not sorry.
Yeah, we're not.
We're not
at
sorry.
all. Not even a little.
No.
So this is shelf liner. If you don't know what shelf liner is going to help make kind of like a sticky substance. It's going to stop things from sliding, but it's not sticky like tape, okay? So we use this stuff all the time on our battery trays, and when they give us Velcro to put on our battery, which we're not going to do, we always use this instead, because then we can go between different pack sizes, positions, and I'm going to go slightly oversized on this one. Why oversized on this one, you might ask? Because this is technically an 8S jet. That means that we might need to actually provide 2 batteries in that same opening. Now,
okay.
Trade-offs, 8S. It's gonna give you more power, but it's also heavier. So sometimes the predicament you run into is, do I want a heavier plane that's gonna land longer? Again, if somebody would have asked us, I would have told that somebody, specifically, our application calls for us to land on a short 275-foot runway. Yeah. That's trees on 3 of 4 sides. Okay, now we do have a 1,200-foot alternate runway, okay? But it just depends on what direction the wind's blowing. And we're also working on another runway too. Okay, so that's gonna give us a nice big spot to put different battery choices. Now also keep in mind, our receiver is gonna have to fit in here somewhere, okay? FMS. What are you thinking? Is this really all the battery lead we're getting?
That's ridiculous.
It is just asinine.
Those short ones were on sale.
Oh my God.
How far does it?
It's just so annoying because it's like FMS, you should know better. This is a V2.
Right.
This is me being really annoyed. Why? Why am I annoyed, you say? Because they should know better. And here on Brian Phillips RC, full truth, nothing but the truth, so help us God, which is really annoying for the people that make these things and want to desperately sell them to you. Well, you know what? Sorry, make better decisions. So that when we share our findings with you guys, the audience, the wonderful audience that actually is who's in charge, when they hear our report, then they'll be happy too. But if you make stupid decisions, we're just gonna pass it right along to the people that are making the spending decisions. So if you're listening and you missed that, this is annoying. Why is this lead so short? How the heck am I supposed to get everything plugged into that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll be able to plug it in. I'm not saying it's like unusable, but it's like, it's inexcusable.
You're putting a battery in the plane, like that's how it works. Make it not hard.
I opened this because I had to update the firmware.
Yes.
So if you guys see this is broken, it's not like supposed to be a bait and switch.
Nope.
I think I actually did that on a video.
We updated them all at the same time.
Yeah, but we didn't show every receiver. I did them all at once. Okay, so why did we open this beautiful little thing? Well, we opened it because A, we want you to see what we're using. B, this is only a couple bucks, like 15 bucks more than a 637T. Mm-hmm. But a 637T is considerably more than a 630 or 631. Now, I would not put a 630 in here. The minimum I would do here is a 631, okay? Because I want the external antenna singular on a 631. A 630 would be fine technically, but I don't trust that range thing that Spectrum tells us. They're like, oh yeah, without the external antenna, it's just exactly the same. It's perfect.
But we're like, still gonna make both.
Yeah, one's $5 more with an antenna.
I mean, there is a difference. The pin is different.
This is what we're after now.
Yeah.
Okay. Why are we doing this now, camera crew?
Because now we don't have to work around wings. It's easier to get to it right now.
She is concerned about my backside. No, seriously, my lower back pain.
Oh, actually, I was kind of thinking about me because that plane is tall. I wasn't thinking about you.
You were thinking about your own backside? It's weird. Micro PH 1S connector, in case you guys were wondering. This is going to go in parallel with our packs, and our packs are going to be plugged in together, and then they're going to go to this. That's going to give us telemetry feedback through our receiver to our transmitter so we can see. So I grab with my thumb and forefinger, pointer finger, and then I twist. And I do that a couple of times until I get it started. Once I get it started, then I do this. Then once you get a couple of these, you can start spinning it like this, right? You see? Pretty simple stuff. It's not as hard as I make it look, but the truth is, if you really want it to go fast, you can take a chuck from your drill, bite onto this without breaking it, and you can spin this thing in about 30 seconds. You'll be totally done. It'll be perfect. Or in the time it takes you to walk down to get your drill, you could just do this, which is what I'm doing, okay? Yes. And which is why I'm doing it this way, by the way. I've always done it this way, except for the, once or twice that we had the drill handy, okay? So you see how it's all sloppy and crappy looking? You see how nice it is? That's just tension, okay? A little bit more tension, give it a tug. It'll give memory to the cable, and then it stays. Beautiful, right? I was just thinking, why is that not done for us?
Well, maybe somebody doesn't want it that way.
Well, and that's true. There are people that will shorten these and necessarily shorten them to have a little bit less going on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, that'd be smart.
We almost always have the exact right length.
Yeah, it's not usually
it's very rare that we have a problem with the length on this.
Yeah.
And all joking aside, guys, I don't know why that is. I'm not sure how it is. But here on Brian Phillips RC, we painstakingly show every detail. Why? Because we don't want to answer in the comments how to do this. Because it is incredibly difficult to remember all this crap, okay? Because we've built many planes. I mean, we just have a few up here. Now, part of the reason this is like this is because we have our construction going on for visitor quarters downstairs, okay? And so once we're done with the huge building, the visitor quarters are going to actually move out to the big building. But in the meantime, while that construction's happening, we got to clear out our planes. And yes, we have 2 40-foot containers, one of which is stuffed, one of which has the other things that were down there.
I saw a Facebook memory of like the first time you put a plane on our fireplace at our old house. Just one singular small UMX plane.
Okay.
I was just reminiscing about how great those days were.
Oh, I was.
There was only one plane in my family room.
How did that make you feel?
Well, at the time, not very good, but.
It was an Aero. It was
the Aero Commander, the UMX Aero Commander. Yep.
You're like, you can't put that up next to my beautiful face.
It was our children's beautiful faces, but.
It was on the fireplace.
Oh yeah, no, we had a picture.
No, we had a giant picture of us when we were young and better looking.
Thanks.
Both of us, but mostly you. That sounded so bad. I thought I was saying the right thing, but I don't think there was.
Did not
it was
come out.
unrecoverable.
What was in your head did not come out with what you meant.
So backward. I'm sorry, I'm the ugly one. Is that what I was supposed to say?
That's what you're supposed to say, yeah.
So I stripped a little extra. I might have gone a little too far. Now, here's the thing. If you don't have access to a proper tool bench, just grab a toothpick.
And you haven't just insulted your wife while you're building airplanes in your kitchen.
And some onion powder. We're going to stick this into, if the onion powder comment made you mad, put it in the comments below.
Onion powder.
I want to hear about your onion powder woes. Because here on Brian Phillips RC, we care. We really do.
You're going to need that later because you're making dinner now.
I am going to help you. We are making, for those of you that care, for those of you that really, truly care.
By we mean you.
I didn't get this girlish figure by not liking food. Okay? We're making Chinese.
Brian, you eat Chinese food too? Jeez, you're practically China there. Building Chinese airplanes from China and then eating Chinese food? Oh my goodness.
You're not trying to stick those both in at the same time, are you?
No, there's no length. You're blocking my light hand. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just trying to, oh, wow. See, guys, you have to kind of, you have to, Uh-oh.
You cut those, strip those too much, didn't you?
Listen, I'm going to twist this to get the strength of the cable. Oh, I'm going to be so annoyed if I have to solder these dang things.
Can you just cut them?
No, they're tinned. How do you think it's so stiff?
Wow.
Camera crew, behave yourself. So guys, here on Brian Phillips RC, we try our best to keep things PG-13 to R.
We did. Oh. What else am I supposed to do for 3 hours?
R. Like pirates are. Okay, here we go. Get in there. Get in there. You guys see, I cut a hole with that piercing tool. So now, all I'm doing is I'm just trying to get this inside, under the sheath. Oh, for God's sake, it's not wanting to go. You want to know why it's not going?
You did it wrong.
Because I got no room to put my hand.
Wow, that's true.
So as a result, it's a real pain in the neck. Now, the other thing you can do is you can build an adapter. And I'm just going to open up the hole. You got to be careful. If you open it up too much and you rip it lengthwise, that can be a bit of a mess. Okay, I'm just saying from experience.
Been there. Was that helpful or not, the light?
The light was helpful.
Okay.
It's usually only not helpful like when we're done with this scene and then you keep it on and I'm blinded by it. Yeah. So if you could just make sure that that doesn't happen, that'd be great. That'd be great. And if we could film like 4 more videos this week.
That'd be perfect.
That'd be
Can
perfect.
we get up early and film too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only because we have to. Thanks, China. Uh-oh, it's split lengthwise. Guys, if you're wondering what the heck I'm doing, I'm gonna basically push this into the wire, okay? That is gonna tap the power system so that we can get telemetry feedback. And the reason we're doing it now is because there's gonna be a bunch of crap in the way in a few minutes, okay? Yeah. And I made a strategic mistake of stripping back just a little bit too much of that wire. And I mean, I said it out loud and I meant it. I was afraid that was gonna be a problem and it's paying dividends already.
Do we need to pause so you can say some special words to make it work?
No.
Okay.
I just got it. Look, show the people. Show the people. You guys see how that worked? As soon as the camera crew doubts me, guess what happens? You want to explain what just happened there, camera crew?
Watching the cat in the window. Huh?
What happened?
What do you mean?
When you were doubting me.
I wasn't looking.
What? When you doubted me.
Then it made you do better.
More better.
More better.
Yeah. So now I'm going to use some electrical tape. And yeah, just remember, guys, I know you're probably thinking,
yeah, but Brian, that's 8S. You're going to have tons of voltage, like almost 30 volts DC.
Yeah, I know. But we're in parallel with no load, so it doesn't really matter that much. So now I'm just taping this down to resist the possibility that might pop out, okay? And you're like, but what about the other side? Yeah. I get it. I'm gonna try my best to do both, but I gotta get one first so it doesn't come undone in the meantime. You know what I mean, Jean? Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is just, you can make this as tedious as you want, and I make it extra tedious.
Yes.
That's just my flavor, okay?
Extra tedious.
Extra tedious. Yes. Excuse me, FMS. Can you ship the plane after it's supposed to be released, please? No. We don't want it before the deadline. We want it after the deadline, please.
Yes.
We kindly request that you release airplane later because somebody screwed up. Okay. Are you going to push back the release? No, we couldn't be bothered to do that. We know that weather is very good where you live. Is that how the emails went?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Well, we got emails. That's one thing. Okay, so that tape job was one of the worst I've ever done in my life because I have no freaking length to work with.
You want to do it one-handed?
When you're as good as I am, you only need one hand. I already poked a hole, dang it.
You already put a hole in that one.
Yeah, I know, but here, I'm going into the cable and I am making an opening here. I'm saying like the actual copper. You see that, how thick that is? That means I've penetrated deeply. Now I can take this. Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. Why do we have such a short lead? Oh yes, we found the hole. Get in there, you son of a biscuit lover. Ooh, shibbity balls.
Do you want me to start doubting now? That'd be helpful.
Yes, doubt me. Doubt me, Doubting Thomas. It's kind of a weird name for a chick. Thomas. Doubting Thomas. We'll just call you
There
Doubt.
is no feminine version of Thomas.
Thomas?
Yeah.
Tom. Yeah, that is kind of weird. Yeah, what is the effeminate version of Thomas?
Leave in the comments.
You see this?
Yes.
I pulled the wire. Now I'm making a hole.
That's a big hole.
Just relax.
Doesn't
All I
make
got to
it
do.
easier.
Oh, yes, it does. Look at that. In like sin. Okay? Okay, I'm going to just throw this in the garbage can. So now what we need to do is we need to tape this down. Guys, listen. I know you're thinking, Brian, this is not that big a deal. You stuck a wire in another wire. I know. But there's a lot of people that are going to take that apart and solder it together and do all sorts of crazy nonsense for a telemetry lead. Are you kidding me? What a waste of time.
Mostly they're thinking it's been 41 minutes and we haven't actually put anything on the plane yet.
Listen, but we did talk about nuts and bolt sacks, which is also important. We also talked about the fact that there's a thrust reverse lead, which is also important. Importante. Okay? Very importante.
I hope it works.
The thrust reverse?
Yeah.
We're gonna freaking need it on this plane.
I know, that's why
Like
I hope
even
it
on the
actually
road.
works.
I mean the longer runway.
The long runway that does not have lines painted down the middle of it.
I just hope no like drunk neighbors decide to come up.
Well, since we have to film at like 6 in the morning, I hope not to.
Well, could still happen. All right, so you see this, guys? Look at this. Now
That's
we've got this
amazing.
cable. Amazing, right? So now that can go back and just chill. Wherever it goes back. I'm gonna show you a trick of the day. We're always showing you tricks here on Brian Phillips RC because that's why you're here. You wanna learn tricks so you can replicate these said tricks, okay? I've got this. I've got this. This is a zip tie. You may have heard of these things.
You're doing that already?
Listen. I'm gonna put this around like that, and I'm gonna just zipper tie her.
Oh.
Do you wanna know why? I'm gonna slide it back. I'm trying to show the people trick of the day. Camera crew, relax. See this? I can put my hand way back there. Look at this, way back there. You just look, way back there. Can you see?
Yeah.
Now look at that.
I mean, I can't see your
now that cable's back there.
Okay.
Why is that important to us?
Because then it's out of the way-ish.
Oh gosh, now I gotta try to cut it way back there too. And I don't wanna cut the wire that I just put in there. This is, don't worry, this won't be like ultra sharp like a knife
Perfect.
for when I put my hands
I'm
back
not
there.
sticking my hand in there.
So now, why does that matter? Because now we have a strain relief on this joint that is hastily taped by somebody, okay? So now we have this beautiful cable. We can go ahead and tidy it up just a wee bit. Just a wee bit, don't you know? Okay, look at this, beautiful. Just tauten it up, okay? So that's good there. And then we have whatever the heck this thing is. Yeah, what is that thing? Why is that so dang short?
What thing?
There's another wire right there. What the frick is that? What is that? What is that?
Oh, wait, what is that?
Why is there a wire there?
Wait. What is that?
Yeah, what is that? Why is that there?
Where's the other throttle wire?
Throttle? This is the throttle. Are you kidding me?
No.
Let go.
Wait.
Let go. There's only one throttle, Megan.
I know, but that's what that color code normally is.
That's definitely coming from the ESC. Maybe it's a programming line or something.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Love questions.
Okay, so now that we're done with that step, and I know it seems completely out of order.
Because it was, but not really, because
It needs to happen.
it's easier to do it when you're...
So there's two trains of thought at this point. You could continue radio setup, mount the radio, get all that crap done, because you pretty much know where things are going. You're gonna have a battery here that's gigantic potentially. And like that receiver, I don't know if the receiver's gonna have to be up here or if we're gonna do one of these where we just...
That's
That's probably where it's gonna have to go.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I don't think we have enough length or room for anything else.
No.
Would you please grab my cockpit?
Sure.
Thanks. It's right next to my nut sack and bolt sack. Okay, watch this. You guys ready? Boop, boop. Ugh. Wow. What the heck happened with this? Why is it so slobby? That's like
Oh, it's the same reason there's a giant dent over here.
son of a biscuit lover. It's like pre-crashed. I didn't order it pre-crashed, did you?
No, I did not. No one asked me.
They didn't. You mentioned that earlier when we were talking about this.
Do we need to retract that gear, or is it okay?
I just thought it was excited to see me.
Oh,
All right, let's talk about the next move. Are we gonna read instructions? I think we probably should. I could put the wings on in like seconds, but I think it's probably better to put the tail together.
Okay.
And by the way, guys, this Robart plane stand is like all the way opened. I kind of like this open because I know where the gear is then.
okay.
I don't know if I can put this down here until I get.
Ooh, no, that's scary.
Does it make you nervous?
It makes me super nervous
Why?
because when it tips off and falls onto the ground on its nose, that's going to be bad.
Why do you think it would be bad that the plane falls on its nose? This doesn't have a removable nose. That's like the first time in the history of airplaneage.
In the history of noses, that it's not removable.
Ever. We're gonna put these on right now.
First?
Okay? Yeah, because I can.
Okay.
It's my plane, and I can cry if I want to.
Yeah.
Okay, look. Rudder.
Okay.
So you were saying earlier about like, oh, but there's two. I'm so confused. Help me understand.
That is not the way that I said it.
Well, I mean, you said those words. I added the inflection for extra emphasis.
Incorrect.
Okay, so brown is forward, okay, clippy style. And I say that because I know I'm covering it with my fingers, okay? So it's plugged in. So now, at this point, the smart person would, look where this wire is. Oh my goodness.
Where's that?
Do you remember how I was talking about punching people earlier?
Yeah.
We usually don't threaten acts of violence unless we're really upset about something.
Do you have to shove all that in there?
Well,
Where's it gonna go?
that's kind of what I'm talking about. They put the freaking wire in the way. Is that the guy who packed my elevator or whatever was going on there? Why? Like seriously, what the frick? I can't even stick it in because there's not enough length to get it turned around. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see if I can pull some slack. And I can't. It's 100% glued in. Do you guys see my dilemma here?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna try to leave that there and see if we can do it this way. Oh crap, I'm like on the wrong freaking wing. Oh gosh. Why didn't you tell me,
I
camera
just
crew?
didn't notice till just now.
Okay, well, that's fine. I will blame you for that.
Okay, that's fine.
You're welcome.
You're really on it.
We could do the ball links now. Or would you rather reach between my...
Usually we
Names.
wait till we know the servos are centered.
I'm just wondering, like, this might be too long. Brown is forward again, folks. Okay. Oh, so now there's going to be a cavity at least. Okay, there'll be a cavity. Okay.
But still.
I agree. It's ridiculous. Guys, when you design a plane, please, once in a while, put the plane together totally and just see like where you need to fix. This is probably not a good place to have a wire that's glued in, and it's glued in, okay? That's the problem I'm fighting. And like, do you really need a freaking label here for rudder? It's obviously a rudder, guys. This is not an aileron, you know? For God's sake. Look, obviously that's the way that goes. Just kidding. It's a rudder, folks. And everybody that's building a plane of this echelon knows that that's a rudder.
Right.
But you know what they don't know? They don't know how the heck to make this thing fit.
You're hard on people when they don't label stuff and we have to guess. But I mean,
this?
I know.
No. You do not need to label this, FMS. If it were even the remotest amount of ambiguous, you do not need to label a rudder wire. Okay?
That is not okay. It's all squished in there.
I understand, but like, I don't know what else you're supposed to do, guys. Seriously. That's ignorant. What? What are you worried about?
The wire that you squished in there.
I didn't squish it. FMS squished it by virtue of putting it in. Okay, so that's kind of cool and everything. Okay, we're to grab the nuts and bolts. Ooh, there's different sizes, hon.
Well, here, let's count them. Process of elimination.
Oh, you want to count?
You didn't unstaple your sack for me.
Well, I'd rather you do it.
Okay. Here, I had to use my teeth then.
Just put my nut
your
and bolt sack in
Chinese
your
sack.
teeth on camera. Jeez, what do you think this is,
Well, it wasn't-
RC Sparks?
It was on camera.
Just do this. That way they go down the
It's
disposal.
stapled. There. Okay.
Okay, linkages.
Okay. Those all look the same.
I threw it in violence. Did you see that? So anybody else who's graced by their spouse's presence while
What?
building RC airplanes.
I can leave.
I didn't ask you to leave. I was just saying I'm such a lucky guy to have help. You're doing a great job over here. Guys, do you see what we're doing? We're just making them all line up so that it's really easy to see on our super, super easy to see countertop. By the way, if you guys are building a new house while filming RC...
Wait.
What?
There's 2 sizes.
Stop. I'm trying to put them all together so I
Okay.
know.
Oh. Okay.
I know, they're different sizes.
And those
This-
go over
this
there.
one's for
We're
the
standing
spinner.
them all up.
This one's for the spinner. That's a hilarious joke for anybody who knows anything about airplanes. Okay.
Okay.
Those are not 2 sizes.
Yes.
No, that's
Those
all
5
the
are
same.
short and those 5 are taller.
Okay. Did you put them out of order just to make me
Yes.
OCD?
Yep.
Are you trying to trigger me?
Yes.
Oh, come on now.
Then you have to put them all in a row.
You came for RC and you got all of this. Put that camera down low so they can see, please. Turn on the light.
Turn on the light.
Yeah. Okay, so which one do you think it is, camera crew? Let's do some process of eliminations, people.
I know. Hold on. I'm thinking. Don't look.
Here,
We
just
don't
look
need
at
to
the
look.
freaking manual. It's not that hard. Just look at the manual. We'll explain all the details you might need to
Okay,
need.
so 30.
Hold on, does the manual say anything about the release schedule?
So we have 16s, 4 16s, 26s, 32s, 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3,
I am
4.
definitely listening.
And 1 extra. No, you're not. You don't ever listen to me. So those go in the bottom of the horizontal stabilizer.
Okay.
The 16s are the next smallest one, 4 for the wings. Those are for the ailerons. Yep, 2 millimeter hex drive. So listen.
Please.
32s. So the longest ones.
Wait. These are 26s,
Yes.
and that's 32.
32. So it goes in the front of that thing.
It goes here.
Yep.
Obviously.
Obviously, because you totally figured that out all by yourself.
Yeah, I did. Well, I had the hard job.
That's what she said.
Why did she say it?
Okay, then you have
That's weird.
2 of those.
Is
In
she
the
from
front and in the
Philippines?
back. What? Oh, goodness.
You have to be careful because you never know until you know. And if you didn't know for sure and then you knew, you probably don't want to know. Give us a special like if you're from the Philippines. Let us know what you have to think about our commentary.
Was that threaded all the way in there?
The answer to your question is, yeah, I guess. I don't know. This wing is
That
weird.
seems like a weird screw fitment.
All right, it is admittedly kind of weird, okay? So I'm just hoping your process of elimination worked.
My process of elimination was perfect, and I am never wrong about screwing.
Okay, whatever you say. Whoa, whoa.
I still think it's weird.
Yeah, I know. Look at the seam up here as I turn. I'm watching the seam. I'm looking for deflection, and I haven't seen any yet.
Okay.
Okay. So, all right, guys. All joking aside, that was gut wrenching. My gut is wrenched.
You're really making me nervous with that. The,
If it falls and breaks, then we're done. Get away from the plate.
not the answer.
Rudder. I'm
Still.
sorry, which surface is it? Which surface is it? I just wanted to make sure. We could get Nate to cut that. He would make sure it's plugged in first. Hi, we're smart batteries. Fireball. Well, I didn't know that was going to happen.
You need a butter knife.
Well, we do use Q-tips and toothpicks for almost $1,000 airplanes.
Yeah.
Listen to, I know toothpicks, I know Q-tips.
They're not even Q-tips.
I'm an expert. These are Walmart brand. They're great value.
Equate.
I know value. Equate.
There's no Walmart brand.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, Equate is the Walmart brand.
Can you tell us more about Walmart brands?
I sure could.
Let's hear everything you have to say about Walmart.
You probably don't want to know.
That's where Nate gets his shoes too.
I know. So do I.
Yeah. You think you're cheap, Nate? I'm cheaper than you. You don't even know it.
Yeah.
You don't even know.
Okay, that little clippy thing is.
I want to punch somebody in the face with
Stupid.
something earlier. Can I put this in the queue?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. What the heck is the problem here? It's kind of like when they give us a battery lead that's like an inch long.
Yeah. Like we only
seriously?
have one size of servo leads.
We've said.
Oh, it's the cat.
You gonna make it over there?
He's fine.
What the heck? You should have filmed him.
I would be embarrassed.
Have you been smoking again? Cat.
Like it.
He's got smoker's cough, guys. Is there a squirrel in there?
He probably ate grass. Like a moron.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that he's dumb, but I'm more concerned about the noise. It sounds like he's dying over there. Ash, are you gonna make it?
You fine, Ash? He's fine.
He sounds great. Sounds totally fine. Guys, this is like one of the weirdest fitting like things we've ever mounted to a plane. Get in there. I think I figured out why motion doesn't want to work with us.
Just now? This is what it took?
Brian Phillips, he's not going to be able to figure out how to put the doohickey on the ding-dongy.
That is not.
That is not
Going
freaking
in
going. What is the problem here? Come on, man. Seriously, I don't understand why that's not sticking in there because there is a lip and it's just.
That nut does not look like it's in the right.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Spot.
It doesn't because it's raised.
Wait, was it like that on the other side?
There's no relief on this. Look, there's no relief on that. Look, there's no relief.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, there is. Okay, never mind.
But
Then.
it doesn't look lined up.
So what you're saying is there's a chance that it's not just that I'm really dumb.
Did the Dynam guy design this side?
Goodness sake. No, it's pretty close to lined up, hon. I just don't understand why it won't drop down in there. Come on. Come
You
on.
want to screw?
I want you to not be in my way when I walk to get the screw. How about that? Okay, so we have the long one and we have two slightly less longer ones.
Yes.
Okay? We can't put any of them in until this is lined up, just so you know. Because you can't hit, well, you might be able to hit the back hole.
Well, I was just wondering if we could get it through the front hole, if it would help pull it in.
So stick it in the front hole, then the back hole.
Yes. You have to do the front hole first.
Get in there. I am so annoyed with this thing.
That is.
Why? Why? Oh my goodness. Okay. You know what? I'm sticking it right in the back hole first.
That is.
I'm breaking it in rough. Watch this.
You're asking for trouble.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there won't be trouble, but it's gonna be worth it. Look at this, guys. It doesn't even want to go through. Look at that. It's not going. I was afraid of that. Son of a biscuit. Well, no. Oh. It's in. Yeah, but it's not started. It's just in. Because it's lifted just a little teeny bit.
Oh, that sounded terrible.
I'm sure all the speakers around the world's hearts are breaking right now. Because of that squeal.
If you need new speakers, you can check the supplies. Okay.
We should do that.
We
That's a
don't.
good idea. Replacement speakers because Brian screamed again.
You could just put them on your subscribe and save, and you just get a new set of speakers
Like
every
once
month.
a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be about right. Okay, I'm like, seriously, this is pissing me off now. I cannot get that thing to drop down there. Folks, listen, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't think I am. I seriously don't. I mean, this is not rocket science. It's airplane science. So it's like almost rocket science, but not quite rocket science. It's like rockets that don't go out of the...
Aerospace engineering.
I seriously don't understand why that won't drop. Give them a shot right above. I mean, the holes are lined up. They really are.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay?
I think you should just stick it in the hole and see what happens.
Well, I mean, scoot it over then. You stick it in the hole. You can't be up that weird angle. No, so you're saying put the bolt in and try to pull it down? Are you
That's
crazy?
the wrong one. That's the wrong one. That's that one.
Okay, well, I don't know. I'm not sure what else to do. I guess we're just gonna cram it in there and hope it lines up. So you're saying like basically we'll run it through and see if it pulls it down?
Yeah.
That's the stupidest way to have to do this. Look at
Well,
that. Is
I
that the same
agree.
damage we saw earlier?
No. That's not damage though. That's just like a weird like paint booger.
It's a paint booger?
That's what it looks like. It's,
Yeah, it could be a paint booger. Yeah, you guys see this, right?
Yes,
Big
we-
old gap.
oh, yeah, we
Big
see
old
it.
gap. I don't know. If
mean,
this
I don't
lines
know.
up, I'll be very happy if it can pull it through, but I don't think it can. Because I don't think we're gonna get purchase. Maybe we will. Maybe. It's gonna plop down and blow up in half.
oh jeez.
Goodness sakes. Is it going?
I can't tell you. I don't think so.
I don't think it is either. This is a sort of, like this is Dynam style.
I know.
This
yeah.
is Dynam style.
This is the worst
Fitment.
screwing we've seen from FMS in a long time.
Yeah. Like I
Like
don't,
something is wrong. I don't think it's
supposed to be like that. I think it's like something got jigged a little bit wrong. Well, I don't know. Maybe it got jigged right and it's just a bad design. I don't know. Here's what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm gonna grab another screwdriver that's like smaller drive than what we have, so 1.5 millimeters. I'm gonna see if I can feed it through the hole. That sounded so bad. I just stabbed it to see if I have alignment, and I definitely went through to something. Okay, we're gonna try again. You guys see what I just did there?
Yeah.
I just pushed really hard, like really hard.
So was I kind of right? That was still terrible.
You're welcome.
Your speakers can be found at.
Okay, BrianPhillipsRC.com.
That's,
Okay, now the horizontal stabilizer.
Yeah.
What if somebody like left the horizontal stabilizers off because they were gonna do like a V-tail? That would be awesome.
just like that.
Stupid looking. Okay. Okay. I mean, if it weren't for that, like honestly, the build's been really easy because most of our build has been sticking
The wire in the hole.
somewhat not hard things into. Okay, so I think that's the way it goes.
I think so.
Okay. Hold on. Should we? Can you tell me? Is this an elevator? Is this the elevator servo?
I don't know.
This one?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Maybe it doesn't feel like being in the elevator today.
Guys, if you're brand new to the hobby and you're flying this plane, wrong choice. Just wanted to let you know. So when they start telling you it's for beginners, then you can just...
They're not going to tell you that,
Listen,
I hope.
I would not put it past them for a second. First EDF jet.
At least there's a pocket for that one. Is that going to... Maybe?
Yeah, but like you need 14 hands to do it.
Do you want an extra one?
Sure. If you're offering. Okay. Look, I'm going to just try to slide that in. See what I did with the wire, though? I just stuffed it up in there sideways. Oh,
You're...
freaking... Snip, snip.
Oh. Well, that's one way to solve that problem.
Ask Lorena. Slide it in. Okay, now we can flip this. Watch my, okay. Good. Whoops. Man, this is awkward shaped plane. Okay, so the screws are, by the way, guys, I gotta say, it's probably gonna be a lot easier to do from underneath like this. So I'm just gonna cut this label off too, okay? But I think it's gonna be a lot easier to do from over here, upside down. Don't you
Yeah, probably.
think? Okay.
I do.
Where did my screwdriver go?
I don't know.
Okay, camera crew, pay attention for a second. I cut off the label on this one, and I'm just gonna peel off the last little bit of excess. Okay, so the brown is toward the front. Okay, so far I would say that we made the right call on which ones to install first, though, because those other ones
Yeah,
are
I think so.
way harder than I thought they were gonna
Yeah.
be. See, that fits all the way in completely.
Right, which is nice and seems correct.
Yeah, these are gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
They'll be fine.
Okay, so these are the shortest of
2
your.
millimeters.
Yeah, still 2 millimeter.
All right, folks, so we'll just stick that in there. I mean, honestly, to me, this plane seems like it's gonna be a good plane, okay? It might be a little bit weird looking, but I'm excited for it.
And I really think there was something wrong on that other
Yeah,
side.
I think
Like,
that
was-
nutzer was mounted fine. It was just that there was maybe like a drip of glue or something that came down.
kicked it out at a weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Position.
We don't cover for these guys.
No.
When they make mistakes, we point it out. And so that's one of the distinguishing differences you might notice on Brian Phillips RC compared to some of our competitive offerings on YouTube. When we do a review on a plane, we're pretty much like looking for things that annoy us.
Well, I mean, most people don't show the whole.
No,
build.
they don't. They don't show the whole,
Like,
let
it
alone
was
the build.
great.
Yeah, we built this in 15 minutes.
Anybody who buys that crap, it's just got to be hitting the pipe really hard. Okay, there it is, guys. All right, so then the wings are going to go on like super easy.
Yeah, they
Like this, right?
should. Yes, exactly. People know I'm kidding, right? I maybe should have said that a little less, more sarcastically.
Yes, you have to
I can-
emphasize
I can
this.
do this.
Ooh, you know what? Hold that, please.
What?
Don't do anything yet. I'm going to stick the rod
Stick it.
through. By the way, not carbon fiber, fiberglass. What the frick? I wouldn't be surprised if the fiberglass is here and this is carbon fiber in the middle. But there's 2 of them. There's one here and there's one here. It feels stout. Okay, I'm gonna just ram my rod through. You good?
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Lift up the wing tip just a little bit. Lower it down. There it is. It's in the hole.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Okay. I don't know if you guys noticed how I did that, but I just spun it and she worked the angle to try to get this alignment. Okay. Now, taking this off is probably what most people are going to do if they have transportation issues. Because the truth, I got to come around.
Okay.
I got to come from this side. Sorry. Because I got to pull this in. Those wings look like they're from the fish jet, hun.
No, those were
They
different.
look almost exactly the same to me. But admittedly, I don't know if they're the same.
Okay, so this is the 4/16s,
Okay, I'll just take the first one.
and then you have one left of every size. I was just
Okay.
going to show the people there.
Hey, you want to show the
Spare
people me
screws.
assembling this plane?
No, that's not why they're here.
So guys, here on Brian Phillips RC, we like to show the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help us God. And that is because we do care about your finished product. And we understand that it's a lot of money to spend on an airplane. I'm not saying it's not a good value. Even with these complaints, they're pretty minor still. We've seen a lot worse. And even though we throw around the D word, it's still a far cry from a Dynam. Let's just be honest. Once you get the first screw, you can use it to pivot. And then that'll sometimes get your nut zert to line up better.
Do you want me to screw?
I'm just gonna pull this out. I'm just gonna walk away from it for a minute so I don't throw anything at it. You know that punchy thing I was talking about earlier? I'm just gonna start the fronts first. It is, you know, and the other thing too is you gotta remember, we build these planes, folks. We build them, sometimes we fly them, and sometimes we have like less than 40 hours, 30 hours.
Less than 40, yeah.
Less than 20. In this one, we had a couple extra days, but we had other things for the same company.
Yeah. And we've had terrible weather.
Terrible. Like fall weather in Iowa sucks. It's
It's
either
the
rainy
worst.
or it's windy or it's both.
Yep.
And to be honest with you, like when you wake up, usually there's like a lull in the wind at the beginning of the day, but not always. There it goes.
There.
Got it finally. Okay. It's got a lot of pressure on it, but that's okay. It won't be as bad the second time if you guys are taking this apart. But the thing that's nice about planes like this is that the little bit of effort it does take to build them, you generally get a pretty good plane out of it. So it's
Yeah.
not like, you know, you spend all this time building a plane and it just ends up being like some entry-level toy grade experience. I need you to hold the end of that plane wing so that I can push.
And usually you build a plane once and then it's built, so it's a
Well,
temporary.
a lot of people have to take apart their wings and stuff to get them in the car. This one's not that huge.
No, it really isn't for being a 90.
For being
It's
a 90,
long.
yeah. That's what she said. She literally
I
just
did.
did. I think it's long too, but you know, a lot of these jets are long. Kind of reminds me of like a fish.
It doesn't look anything like the fish jet.
That was supposed to be a joke.
Mostly.
It's supposed to be a hilarious joke.
That was so funny.
It's a play on words that we know that the Chinese will not hear.
You almost nosed that into the cabinet.
Like that? You have a problem with me destroying my own cabinets on camera
I was more
for
worried
the
about.
World Wide Web?
I was more worried about the plane.
This is your cue for yes. Now, listen. We have to make a decision on whether we're going to put the radio system in right now. We have one landing gear out. It seems a little lonesome there. We can either center servos or we can exaggerate servos.
Why don't we just put the receiver in?
Well, because that's easier said than done, I guess. But yeah, I mean, we
it's
have
built
to.
technically.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. We can. There's really no excuse. Let's just
There
put the
isn't.
receiver in. Okay.
Okay.
So the camera crew is correct. So the next
always.
move for us is the radio setup portion. Now the radio setup portion, depending on the size, scope, and nature of the plane, is going to usually fall about this time. And what's going to happen is we have to actually install all the surface linkages. I gotta say, that is pretty cool. And you know, I'm a scale airplane aficionado. That's the stuff I like. And don't hear aficionado like I'm trying to say I'm some special, because I'm not. I'm just saying that's what I
just
care
what you
about.
like.
That's
Yeah.
probably the wrong terminology. But I really do care about scale airplanes. That's what I like, okay? And if you're anything like me, even though this isn't like a real plane, I like it. I think it's cool. Okay, so we have a receiver here. There's a bunch of plugs on it, okay? So let's talk about spacing, location in here. Pretty easy to get this canopy on and off for being a big canopy. Are you moving so that it's like harder for the people to see, or what do you?
I was assuming you were working over here.
Well, yeah, sort of. Okay, let me just lay that here. So we have to make a decision, okay? My thinking is, if we go here, the only catch, and this is a pretty big catch, we got to make sure those antennae have a home and a way to get them out of the way. But then I can get in there and hit the bind button, okay?
Can you go pins out, or do you want pins
Yeah, but
in?
then I'm going to have, you know,
You still have antenna
I can.
problems.
It's harder to reach the bind button. But like, honestly, that's
You only
not
have
too
to do
bad.
it once.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I hear what you're saying. It's just that you're wrong.
Yeah, right.
Just kidding. I don't think you're wrong. It's more that I'm generically concerned about. I don't know how easy it's going to be to plug in. So in this process, there's certain ones that we pretty much know, and then there's ones that we don't. Okay. So right here on this Air 8360T, you can see it says S plus minus. So signal is white for throttle. So we know throttle is going to go here. Okay. This is going to be for thrust reverse. So do we just like go to channel 8 for that?
Well,
So signal goes, it's actually got a full plug on this one. It's kind of interesting. Sometimes it's just a singular plug, so it's only one pin. This one's got the full plug. Okay, so we'll just go to channel 8 for now until we come up with something different. Because normally we would, at this point, we'd be doing our radio setup, building the profile, but let's just plug in.
throw caution to the wind.
Well, no, I'm not throwing caution to the wind. I'm just plugging what I know I need to plug, okay? Because then I can say, okay, do I have enough length on the rest of this crap to be able to reach? And like, I don't even know what this is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not
either.
sure. Is it LEDs? Is there another
There,
LED back
oh, there
here?
are no LEDs. There's no LEDs.
What the frick? There's no LEDs?
I just noticed that.
What are you thinking, FMS?
V3,
Is that where they make sure they don't dent them in packaging?
hopefully.
Okay. Okay, so steerable nose gear. Are we just gonna go way up to like channel
That
7?
has to be 7. Not
7?
Yeah, I mean that's the choice.
So this is where it's gonna be right now, but we may end up being able to reach. We might be able to reach when
Maybe.
we're done. Okay. So then we're gonna have whatever this is, flaps. So
Be
flaps
6.
would usually be 6.
Should be 6.
I'm just going by what you're telling me, camera
Okay.
crew.
Have I ever steered you wrong before?
You steered a plane wrong the other day for my son.
I did do that.
Do you remember when you?
I had all the channels plugged in right.
Yeah, and she reversed the ailerons.
ailerons were reversed.
But it was cool because like it's not like she's married to Brian Phillips RC, and she couldn't have like called him at work and said, "Hey,
Hey, what is that?
that's the elevator." 3.
3.
Okay. Okay, and then what's this? What's this? What's this? Rudder? Nope, aileron. That's 2.
Yep.
You know, it's disgusting that you know this.
It is
Makes me
disgusting
wanna
that I know
projectile
this.
vomit that my hot wife knows where to plug this.
I'm cold. I'm sweater now.
Okay, so I'm gonna slide these labels back. And then once we build the profile, we can double confirm all this. Okay, so gear would be channel 5 for retracts. So channel 4 must be for rudder. Now that would be the standard rudder, not this rudder. So it's the
Correct.
rudder from the breakout board. Unless we decide to just like, oh, because there are 2 rudders.
When we set up thrust reverse, by default, is it 8 or is it 7?
There is no default, Megan.
No. Oh yeah, because it's not an avian.
Yeah, it's not an avian
See,
ESC.
so many stupid questions, but I know
Yeah,
all the
it's okay.
things.
It's okay. I'll take stupid questions and you helping me over not having stupid questions and me doing this by myself. Ow! I just got stabbed by my own airplane.
So we still have the mystery wire that we don't know what it is.
We got no clue.
Okay.
So listen, this wire is coming from the other side. I think it would be wise to just like, while we've got access to it, let's go ahead and go around the back. Let's do a quick reach around.
Around the back of that whole bundle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that might get us the length we need, guys. Okay, so reach around time. So if you're brand new to Brian Phillips RC and you're not used to all this back and forth, that's because you probably haven't seen
It's
us
'cause
do
you're
a
new.
build yet. And so this is pretty normal stuff. So if you don't like it, I'm real sorry. I hate to break it to you. This is what we do for a living-ish. Because
Ish.
I work on industrial scales for a living. So really, I don't do
this
it for a living. But we do live while we're doing it. So we're not dead.
Sometimes, maybe.
Look at that.
Barely. What did you hit?
I hit the light.
Oh.
Okay, so this is the other rudder.
Yep. The channel 7 rudder.
C'est bon. Say it right.
What? No, because I can't say weird voices like you. That's why I have you.
Perfum. I heard that on advertising this week.
What?
Perfum. There's like advertising to men for perfum. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You think men are gonna wear a perfum?
They weren't saying
no.
parfum.
No, they were saying perfum. And I'm
Was
like,
it from China?
yeah, probably.
That explains it.
It was talking about how woodsy it smelled and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, so note to self, marketing managers, do not tell a man it's a perfum, because he's going to be like, I know where you can stick your perfum, right in your place.
Yes.
Where the sun
Your
don't shine.
Special.
Yeah, that hole. Okay. It's like the same reason we, did we ever link to Soap on the Rope?
No.
For the prisoners making toilet wine?
This will be a good toilet wine video at this point.
Oh, so I worked with this chick. Her husband works at the prison. And yeah, so he said, yeah, Brian Phillips, big name there.
I was not sure where that was going, where that story was going.
Were you
I was
afraid?
a little concerned.
Was it going to get like right on the
I have
edge
to call Bert and
Right
ask
on the
him what was
edge.
going on.
of success? Okay? So everything's plugged in and you're like, but Brian, how did you know where to plug it in? We're going to show you that here in a second.
Yeah.
But also it's from memory.
Memory, because we've done this.
Is it called a memory if it's painful? Still, yeah.
So I think it's still.
It's like it's the thing that dreams.
It's like traumatic memory instead
Dreams
of.
and nightmares are made of. Okay, so this needs to go to the other side, folks. Whoop. So I'm just untangling a couple of wires. The perfunctory cable management.
Perfunctory?
Perfunctory. Do you have a problem with perfunctory?
You use the weirdest big words in.
Perfum. Listen.
You can't smell anything anyway. It doesn't matter.
Perfum for men. We were talking about perfum names the other day, remember? It was in a video. I don't remember what the video was for, but it was some stupid plane we were filming. Some stupid
The
plane.
lollipoop.
No, I wasn't talking about perfum on the poop.
That is the right
Seriously,
livery,
that
by the
already
way.
has plenty of performance to it.
It does.
Okay, do you guys see what I'm doing here? Now what I'm doing is I'm just reaching in and I'm trying to make my cables agree for length-ishness. Okay, you see what I'm doing? I'm just going around, just kind of trapping the cables. And you're like, but why would you do such an obnoxious thing, Brian? Because watch and learn, sir. I'm gonna stick it through where the sun don't shine. This is where the sun will not be shining, just to be clear. And I'm gonna go like this, and you're like, geez, Brian, that's
gonna be really tight.
I'm gonna pull a little slack. I did go a little bit too tight, sorry. That was accidental, okay. So now, do you see what I just did though?
I see what you're doing.
What am I
I'm trying to
doing?
show the
Explain
people
the
that your-
perfum.
Your giant hands are in the way. You're cable managing your cables with your own cable.
I'm using the cable to manage the other cables because I'm lazy and I don't want to use cable ties.
Zip tie is all the way over there on the other counter.
Well, because they got a freaking 2-inch long power cord. I have kind of overworked that word today a little bit.
What?
Freaking.
Oh.
I feel like Todd Hoffman. It's better than Tony Beats.
Yeah.
By the way, if
get this
anybody
done?
from the cast of Gold Rush watches our show, we really do
Please
enjoy.
leave it in the comments.
We enjoy Gold Rush, but no, seriously, do you remember the guy who worked on Barnwood Builders?
Barnwood Builders. You
Yeah.
never watched that show.
That's not true. We used to watch it. You would go sleeping
Yeah, I
time.
know.
You'd like, hey, let's turn on this high energy show, which I actually enjoyed the
I
show.
think that show's interesting.
Anyway, the guy that edited that video or did,
Oh, yeah,
he
that's
worked for the
right.
Discovery Group.
Yeah, I forgot it
I
was
was like,
that
that's
show.
super cool. It's
Yeah.
Barnwood Builders and one other thing. I think
Something else that I
might have been
we also
involved with
watch.
Gold Rush. But yeah, we like Gold Rush. We watch
It's
it.
like
Gold Rush.
our family Friday night.
Yeah, we enjoy doing that. It's like one of the things we do that is not abnormal. And then all the rest of the time, it's like,
Shut up and sit down. We're filming a video about RC airplanes for the fun of the world community.
What are you doing over there?
Kid, you're not hungry for dinner, are you? You could wait another 3 hours.
you still have that light on, by the way. It's usually
Just
not.
waiting to blind you.
It's like that, except really nice. Like, yeah, it'll be 3 hours. We can eat dinner then. You guys see? Look at
That's
this.
amazing.
Oh, yeah. Whoa. Wow.
So are you not taking my suggestion about going the other way?
I'm just seeing if I have enough length to go this way. Because I'm serious, like, I don't know if I can reach if I go the other way. Okay. You guys see what I did there?
Not really, because your giant hands are in the way.
Well, you know, I don't know. Do you want me to use my toes?
That'd be interesting. It would take a lot longer.
Goodness gracious.
Don't kink those, jeez.
I'm not kinking them. I'm not kinking them, okay?
It's a coaxial cable, you know. You can't kink that.
Yeah, I know that. Thank you for pointing that out, camera crew. The world is a better place now that they know, that you know, that I know. that
Those
it's
last
correct.
28 millimeters are really critical to the performance.
Listen,
of your
quit
receiver.
showing off, lady.
I can't fly it. I can just tell you about it.
All right, guys, listen. The camera crew is
We
getting
can
out of
tell.
hand. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get an NX10 right here in my hand. I'm gonna get my China glue. It's from China. We're gonna use this to glue this in soon.
You're gonna glue that
Yeah.
to the top of the upside
I'm gonna
down?
put it on right now so that it's sticky when we're ready.
Okay. Oh. Cat
The
fight.
cat did not agree with my assessment. Okay, are you paying attention?
No,
China glue. Buy this. You'll be happy.
you can. with the plane.
Okay, I want to just talk about China glue for a minute. You guys see how awesome that is? Oh, it's so good. We use foam to foam too. Foam to foam is just fine. They're about the same price. It really doesn't matter. Just like if you're ordering a Horizon product like this receiver, get the foam to foam. If you're ordering an FMS product like the Super Scorpion, then get this. Or just get one of each because they're both reasonably inexpensive, about $6, $7. And they last for a long time. They don't dry out in the tubes. They don't come dried out. But once you pierce it, remember this aluminized tube will eventually pop, and that's why I have black tape around the base of mine.
It doesn't usually though.
Just hear me out, camera crew. Watch. You want this to go back, right? So I am going to let you win this. But
I was just suggesting.
Now, I know, but I'm going to let you win this for a reason, and I'm going to tell the people why. Because I need these antennas, and yes, it is plural as antennas when it's not antennae on an animal, okay? I learned that from somebody on YouTube that corrected me.
It is a Super Scorpion.
Okay, so I'm just sticking this up here. Now, I'm not centered. What I'm doing is I'm spreading the stickiness. I'm spreading the stickiness, okay? Now I'm gonna pull out.
All of it?
And that's how you get baby scorpions. But I mean, that's gonna set up. It's gonna set up,
right,
guys. Okay, so I spread some goop on the lid underneath here, and it's way the heck back there. But the thing is, we don't need to like go in there and like shake hands and have a good time. I mean, it's in there. You just press the button. And if you're looking for the receiver and you can't find it, just look harder until you do. And yes, you can rip that China glue right off.
Right.
You can be like, China, you get out of there. Get out of there, China. You're not allowed in that area. Do you think more Chinese companies would work with us if I was like, didn't make fun of them as much?
Probably not.
Okay, well, I'm gonna do it anyway. That's what you get for tight deadlines, China. All right, guys, listen. The pregnant silence is for a reason, okay? Because I'm gonna turn this thing on right now. Watch this, boom.
Do we have to have another pregnant silence now?
Well, I mean, you gotta turn it on before you get pregnant.
It's still making me nervous.
It's on. Sort of, but it's thinking, okay, so cancel and back, add new model. It's an acro we're gonna create, okay? So this is called radio setup, guys. Brian Phillips, Unbox, build radio setup. You're on YouTube.
We know we didn't actually build it. We assembled it.
We know.
We know.
We know.
Still a shorter word. You did click the button, right?
I did.
Okay.
This is what happens when you have many, many, many models in your NX.
Oh, there it goes.
It hasn't failed us yet, but I'm still waiting for it. It's like, error message,
like,
catch on fire.
Yeah.
Okay, so model type we already set. It's an acro. Model name, this is where we type it in. It's 224. When it says 251, that's when things blow up. Okay, so we have to type in the 90mm Super Scorpion from FMS. We'll be right back. Okay, so we have the FMS Scorpion V2 90mm, okay? So we'll walk back, aircraft type. This is where we set the wing type to one aileron and one flap and a normal tail. Even though there's technically two, you don't have to set it up like that, but you could if you had an AR-10 360T.
Yes.
And then you would probably split out the elevator too, because then you could do all sorts of crazy mixes. But in our case, we're just basically a conventional tail and a conventional vertical stabilizer and rudder, okay? But then we're gonna select an image. We'll just do that, it's close enough. We do have to do a channel assign before flight mode. I wanna make sure this is right. Okay, so we have the right knob currently, or the rotary knob attached to channel 8. Okay, so gear is okay there. Flaps are gonna be on 6. I wanna unassociate this because that's gonna be a mix, okay? Right? Because that's gonna be gear.
Yes.
And then this is gonna be thrust reverse, so you definitely don't want that tied.
Yes.
So you want it tied, whoops. You want it tied to switch G in our case is where we put our thrust reverse, which will show you that. And come out just a hair. Go up just a little bit, please, thank you. So switch G is going to be there. And then here we'll cancel out. Here we'll cancel out. And remember, we can use all the way up to channel 20 now. So like, I don't know. Do you want to put the rotary knob on one of these for the master gains? Or do you want to
it just needs to be 9 or above.
So we'll just do 9 in case you guys are following along. So exercise right knob or rotary knob. And that'll be on channel 9 then, okay? But yeah, we have all these unused. We can use these too, okay? So we'll walk back. Then I'm gonna go to flight mode setup. Okay, so the flight modes are gonna be set on switch D in this case. We're gonna have 3 modes. Spoken flight mode, this is where I'm gonna key in. We'll have AS3X up here, then we'll have off, and then we'll have safe down here, okay? We'll show you how to set up all 3. These are just labels, so highlight, cancel, cancel. And I'm gonna start by typing in the label that's gonna be visible on the home screen. AS3X. Where's that thing? There it is. AS3X. And that stands for Artificial Stabilization 3-Axis. And then we'll scroll all the way to the bottom of this list. You can't go up to the top. Yep, you can't. You can also make categories, but we don't make categories because we're trying to help you guys. If this happens to be like one of your first setups, we want you to be able to do it. Okay, so we're gonna find AS3X. Way the heck down here. We're gonna accept it. They're safe, so we'll come back to that one next. Then we gotta set this, but we have to come back to that in just a minute because here's the catch. We need to stick this in.
Oh, we do.
Because the glue it's contact adhesive, so you do kind of have to do this in a certain time function, okay? So you see how I slid those wires through. Those are just gonna keep them down so I can get to them. And then I'll have to put one at 90 degrees of the other, okay? So I'm just sliding this back, sliding it back. Now this needs to be as straight down the length as I can make it. There is a minor correction that you can use within the software, but I don't want to depend on the software to correct for that length, okay? So that thing is, oh crap, I'm not quite square. Holy crap, that thing is in there like so tight right now.
I'm not surprised.
Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to move it. I don't think I can move it. I'm not gonna try. I don't want to tempt fate.
Okay.
Because if I pull hard, I'll pull that bottom label off.
Yeah.
Which is a compliance label, so I'd like to not lose it if I can avoid it. So then I can pull these out at my convenience. So those obviously are not gonna stay there, okay? But you guys see what I just did there? That thing is like in there. It ain't coming out unless I can get it out. Don't doubt it.
Right.
But I'm not getting it out and then moving it 3 degrees or whatever. So just try, it is not centered. I gotta try to center it. It's gonna drive me nuts.
Okay.
Watch how hard this is to get out. Holy shnikes. It's coming. Holy cow, that was so stuck, which is why we do this.
Is it gonna re-stick?
That's the fear. Look. Is it gonna re-stick?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or are you gonna have to re-glue?
I don't know. That's the fear I gotta work out.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to get this squared better this time, because it is not the most easiest thing I've ever done to stick this up here square. Because there's like 47 things pulling in 3 different directions. And it's like, you can't see, you're just going from feel. Good Lord. That's awkward as all get out.
Is it straighter?
I just can't tell.
I know.
Like, it's so dang
It's
hard to tell.
because the wires are coming out, like that bundle comes out at an angle, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it is incredibly difficult to tell. And then this tapers, guys. So why are we so concerned with lengthwise? Because along the axis, you have roll, pitch, and yaw. You want it to be as square as possible mechanically, but there is an error correction, and we'll show you that in the Ford programming. Okay, so we'll come back to that, but it's basically in there. So as you can see, it's cable management kind of took care of itself.
Yeah.
All right, so now the flight mode 1 we just did. Now we're gonna do flight mode 2. Okay, so remember, this is just a label, so cancel, cancel, clears it. Then I can scroll in the word off for OFF, which doesn't stand for anything, it just stands for off, meaning we're gonna have the stabilizer off in this condition, and then there is an off word. Okay, so we'll find it, come right back. Okay, so there's off. And then flight mode 3, we'll highlight cancel, cancel, and we'll type the word safe for sensor assisted flight envelope. This is auto leveling, which basically will level the aircraft and also give you artificial 3-axis stabilization while you're in that mode. And we'll show you how to turn all that stuff on in mere moments. So here's safe, it's way down here. Okay, so now we can walk back. We're gonna jump out. It's gonna take a second. Now, first thing I'm gonna do is set up rates in Expo. I'm gonna turn this to switch F so that it's 5% up here for Expo, then 10, okay, then 20. This is just a starting point. We're probably gonna have to play with it if it's touchy, and we're gonna drop our rates to 90 in that mode, okay? So remember, we're gonna have AS3X in safe if we want, but this gives us a little bit less sensitive and a little bit more sensitive by a factor of about double and about half. So you start in the middle. The idea is to build a path back to the ground so you can get your plane down in one piece. I mean, obviously you want it to fly as good as possible, but if you're gonna have a problem, I'd rather have a problem and a recourse. And remember, you don't wanna split these things out to 3 switches. First of all, you gotta have enough switches to do it, and we use up a lot of switches in our setup, but then this one is going to be the only one you have to mess with. Remember, it's all about getting to the ground. It's about getting to the ground on the maiden, okay? Once you're to the ground, you can work out all these details by making adjustments. Okay, so here's that. And remember, this is highly subjective, this particular step. So if you disagree with my setup for dual rates in Expo, don't worry, we can disagree on this and still be friends, okay? All right, so now throttle cut, that's another very important one, especially since I cut off all those safety labels.
Right.
Thank God. Okay, so then you'll look down here, you'll see it's minus 100, and so we are on. Now when I turn that off, you'll notice that it goes to live, okay? Throttle cut's on. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to flap system, we're gonna make an assignment to switch B, but we're gonna leave everything at minus 100. Well, how do I want, I never know where it's supposed to be. So I'm gonna set 1 to minus 100 and 1 to plus 100, and then I'm gonna go in the middle, okay? Now, what that means is that we're guaranteeing that the flap servo is gonna be centered. That's the less likely place to damage the servo, okay? I don't know how they did it mechanically, so you're gonna have to be listening for that when you first turn it on, okay? Elevator correction, I don't want yet because we have to do other mixes. And the speed, I'm gonna set it to 2 seconds, okay? And activated by switch B. Mixing, we will have to set up for the nose gear. So why don't we set that up right now? So this is for normal, and it's gonna be rudder to aux. What the heck is that? Aux 2, channel 7. So there's that. And the rate's gonna be 100%. And you can actually do more than 100% if you want. So you can see as we move this, the aux 2 now moves on the top of the sweep. And on the bottom of the sweep, we're gonna do plus 100 as well. And what this does is that when we apply the stick input, aux 2, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, is going to respond, okay? And I want that on all the time, okay? Then I also need to do another digital switch setup, and I'm gonna select switch G. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I happen to know. If you don't know, then watch longer and we'll explain. I want this to be forward thrust away from me. Then I want reverse thrust and I want pilot fatigue. Okay, so this is forward thrust is gonna be minus 100, okay? Don't ask me why, it's just the default setup, okay? So we'll put it to minus 100. Then on this one, I don't want to float in the center. I want it to be plus 100. That's going to be a reverse thrust. But it's going to be reverse thrust as in that turns on the fact that any output becomes reverse thrust, okay? That's not the amplitude by which the reverse thrust is. It's actually just turning on the reverse direction, okay? Okay, so now when I'm going forward, everything's working. Then when I come back here or here, it goes to reverse. So that would be forward thrust. And remember, the throttle cut's on. So this would be forward thrust, then it would be reverse thrust, and it would be reverse thrust, but the amplitude is set by whatever the stick position is in the middle. Now I want to make what's called a pilot fatigue for that third setting, or the position 2 down here, okay? So when it's pulled all the way toward me, and that we have to play with. In here, it's normal. It's going to be throttle to, oh wait, I usually command with switch G, right? Mm-hmm. Because that's just the way we've done it in the past. It seems to work pretty good. So switch G is going to command throttle. This is getting kind of loose. I'm going to have to tighten that up a little bit. So it's going to command throttle to the tune of, I only want this to be on when the switch is in this condition here, and I don't want it on there, and I don't want it on there. So this is only in pilot fatigue, okay? So when this is here, nothing happens. When it's here, nothing happens. When it's here, it springs to life, meaning I want the rate of switch G to drive the throttle channel. And so now you got to have your throttle cut off, and you can watch this throttle channel change. See how it's moving up? See how it's going up, 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 up. See how it's not all the way? It's at 27%, and then you have the offset. See, that's 100. Now it's like 125%. So I'm gonna actually put this, so you can go all the way up to 150%.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I don't know what's gonna happen when I do that, but we'll find out real quick. Okay, so now watch this. When I shut that off, watch what happens to the throttle. Regardless of the stick position, that's going to full bore, okay? Now when I'm in this condition, it goes right back to the normal condition. And when I'm in this condition, it's in the normal condition as well. But when I go like this, that's full bore. That's what we call pilot fatigue. Throttle cut is going to still put it to minus 100, okay? So we can test that here in a minute, but that at least gets us set. So I'm gonna put it back to the normal forward thrust, throttle cut, and we'll walk out of the menu structure. Now the timer, I'm gonna set a timer. I know it's probably a moot point, but 3 minutes, I want warnings. I want 1 out active. That means over 25% it's gonna start. And by the way, that's set right there over 25%. It's gonna activate. And it's a 1 out, which means it's gonna go out 1 time. It starts the timer and counts down, okay? At 1 minute, I want a voice. At 20 seconds, I want nothing. At 10 seconds, I want a voice countdown and expiration. I want tone and vibrate with a tone every minute thereafter. And then also there's audio events that we can set up once telemetry connects. Remember, there'll be a screen we can scroll to that shows voltage, okay? We're not there yet, okay? Throttle cuts on. Gear switch is ambiguous at this point. We don't know what direction it is. So you need to be super careful when you do this next move because your gear might open. Now, our nose gear is already open, so we're not super worried about that. But I want to just be careful how we handle this next step, okay? So also the other thing is we don't have, what are we gonna do? We're just gonna use like a 6S 4000?
Yeah, we can set it up on a 6S.
Well, they want a 45C, so this is a 50C. So
Okay.
we can set it up on 6S, okay? So this is an IC3. IC3 has a data line that's not necessary for this plug, but it is necessary for the charging. And our gear door is clear and our gear are gonna be fine. None of our surfaces are hooked up, so we are less likely to damage the surfaces, but that's not impossible that we could overdrive into the foam. So just be aware. Also, I just want to point out something. You remember how I was griping about the stupid length of the cable? Look how short this dang thing is.
Well, I have to go.
See that? But I just want to show you something. Because we're going to be potentially running ADAS, that means that we're going to have a parallel cable, something, or excuse me, not a parallel, a series adapter. And if you guys don't know what a series adapter looks like, crap, where's our series adapter?
Do we have an IC?
Yes, we do. 100% we do have a series adapter, okay? I've seen it, I've used it, okay? This is a parallel adapter, and we have like other adapters in it right now, okay? So basically, this takes the positive to the positive and the negative to the negative. So that's not gonna do what we want. We need to take the positive to the positive, or the positive to the negative, and then the negative to the positive. So you add the cell count together. So we're gonna pause. I'll see if I can find it real quick. Okay, so this is our series adapter. Now or this is a parallel adapter rather. So this is gonna take from 2 different batteries that are 4S. So just for grins, let's take these two 2200s. Well, let's take these two 2200s because these are like similar characteristics. Remember, when you use series or parallel, you gotta be kind of careful that you don't do it wrong. Namely, if you go from a series on an 8S down to parallel, you're not gonna really hurt anything. But if you go from parallel to series, you'll blow up an ESC. So be careful. Series adds 2 4S's and makes them into an 8S, okay? But then remember, we've got an IC5 connector. So you're gonna have to have some sort of an adapter that's gonna take you out to the plug in that plane, okay? So in this case, we would really rather go out to something like this, if we can. Ironically, that will plug into an EC5 better than an EC5.
Right.
Or better than an EC5 will plug into an EC5. Okay, just because these things suck, okay? That stands for E-Flight connector, in case you guys were wondering. And yes, I'm gonna take this adapter off because it's not what we need, and it's gonna confuse me later, okay? We may also have a series adapter that would give us, I mean, this is 8S, we can technically plug it in. So I'm actually kind of curious about this. This is too small, by the way. We would need bigger 4S packs.
Right.
Okay? Now, there is some advantages to going to 8S, guys. If you're thinking about buying this plane and you're not sure if you want to do 6S or 8S, just remember, if you have a 6S, it's not going to, I mean, you can use 6S, but you can't use a 6S with a 2S and do a series because that would not be electrically kosher in this environment. And it could cause a fire on the 2S. So be careful. I know that it's technically electrically possible, but what's gonna happen is you don't generally have the same C ratings on those big disparity in pack size, okay? I just wanna talk about this for a minute because that is a short lead, okay? I was complaining about it earlier for good reason. This is gonna be potentially a big battery. This is only 2200, by the way.
Right.
So I could do 2 parallel adapters into a series adapter, and I could do 4 2200s, and that's still smaller than they call out.
Oh my goodness gracious.
So just pay attention for a sec here, camera crew. Because remember, we're trying to, there was a piece of foam in there, what the heck? Who did that? Okay, so now we need to be prepared. Why the heck is this over here?
Do you have it in your hand? Okay.
Okay, so I need to be ready to bind. Throttle cuts on, click, scroll down to bind. Be prepared, it's gonna time out, almost certainly, always does. Okay. Big spark, not surprised. Now I'm gonna wake this up, I'm gonna hit bind. Binding, now I'm gonna reach in here and try to hit that button, which is way in there, holy cow. Dang it, it timed out, didn't it?
It did.
Oh my goodness.
Do you want me to try?
No.
Okay.
I knew this was gonna be awkward. I got it that time.
Got it?
I can't see, I can see it flashing. Show the people the flashing. Okay. So I'm gonna scroll back down to bind. Okay. Okay. Auto configuring. Now remember, there's like nothing's should happen, but if it does, you need to be able to control the plane. You do technically have a reverse thrust circuit, so it could like pull out of the stand, so be careful. Okay, so now everything is hooked up. We have movement. We have flat movement. I'm gonna put it back to the center. And then the gear, watch the gear. Gear up. That is slow. Gear down. And trailing link, very cool. Ooh, these ones are super stiff though. Oh, good Lord, pretty much useless. The nose gear is soft though, at least. And then steerable, it is working, and the rudders are working, okay? So the good news is we have movement. The bad news is I have to rotate my gear, because my gear should be up in this condition. So we're gonna click. We're gonna go back up, servo setup, travel, reverse, gear, okay? So now the gear going up, I'll go ahead and put the gear down. So then we know where stuff is. But no, we got some more setup. We got to have it down so I can see. Okay, so now the other thing is I got to keep these batteries in here during setup. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the straps. Straps are high quality. They're kind of the thicker style. And they should work well for this application because we're going to have bigger batteries when we're ready to actually fly. But I just got to make these things stay put while we're doing our testing. We just can't forget and try to CG this thing with these in here.
Right.
Because they're not the battery we're going to be using. Or not the battery pair that we'll be using, okay? So now we can put the canopy on. The only reason we're putting the canopy on, full disclosure, is just because we have to flip everything upside down to get all of the linkages installed. Now remember, we have 0 linkages. The only linkage installed right now is on the steerable nose gear.
Watch the antenna that's sticking out.
Dang it, I guess we have to take care of the antenna at some point, don't we?
Well,
so
we do.
Let's just do that real quick. I'm sorry guys, the radio setup on this plane is just there's gonna be a lot of steps, okay? Now, these antennas are supposed to be at 45 degrees, or excuse me, at 90 degrees of each other, okay? If you grab them with the forceps and you damage them, then it's on you. So don't damage them. You gotta be very gentle, okay? I'm gonna pull these back. One of them you can pretty much pull back wherever you want. The other one, you have to try to get it to 90 degrees of where it is, okay? So, if you kind of see what I'm doing here, I'm just gonna pull these out all together. They do not need to be in that bundle. That was just there so I could glue the thing in, okay? So now that's free. I'm gonna try to get the other one, okay? So then this one is gonna come free. Very nice. Now remember, 90 degrees of each other, and you have to have some way of, containing, controlling, holding them if you wanna do everything right. But I might actually do this. You remember the toothpick trick we've done years ago? Mm-hmm. Many, many times?
Yes.
So remember toothpicks, we're partial to toothpicks here on Brian Phillips RC. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this thing like this.
Sheesh.
I know, so watch. Now that that's clamped on there, I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna make a channel right here, backward, but now I'm gonna pull it level-ish, sure. Okay, see what I did there, guys? So I just made a channel, okay? And all you gotta do is just push it back in like that, okay? So now I can take this one of two, remember there's 2 of them, and I'm gonna get my fat hands and block the screen just as much as possible here.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Oh my goodness, awkward. Now remember, do not clamp onto that thing. You will cut it with your forceps unless you got really crappy forceps. And you'll notice I don't have deep enough penetration because I think I broke it off a little bit too short. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take and do the same thing, except I'm gonna go back just a little bit further so we get the full 28 millimeters of purchase. Okay. Then I'm just gonna ride with it. Oh yeah, now I've got a channel. Gosh, that's awkward. You can let go if it wants to kind of trap itself. You can let go of it and then just pull it back out, okay? So now this should be able to just pass right in to your channel, and that's gonna be well protected and also still accessible in the event that you decide you wanna put that somewhere else. You can definitely move it, okay? So that's in there very good. That worked really easy, okay? Now the other antenna, which is back here as well, to be honest, I'm kind of tempted to find another spot back there just to kind of get it out of the way, but I'm going around all these wires and you're not gonna be able to see it unless you can get way out there in front of the nose. And once I get all the way around all the rest of them, I'm gonna drop it down. Just, to be honest with you, I guess I'm just gonna drop it down. That is good enough for me.
Okay.
Sure, it'd be better to have that guaranteed in a diversity configuration. Diversity meaning either 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, something like that. 90 degrees is 90 degrees of one another. Yep. They can both be at an angle too. I just like to keep them square with the length of the plane just for ease of making sure you hit 90. But in this case, that one's up here, the other one's down low, okay? So, canopy please.
Here we go. 20 minutes.
I don't know what you just said.
So we have about 20 minutes.
Okay. So we're sticking this down. I'm gonna flip this whole thing over. We have to do the rudders too. Just keep me accountable for
Yes.
that. So laying this back down.
Okay.
Now we should be able to see what we need to see on the wings. Okay. I'm hoping that this process goes very quick and easy, but I have oftentimes been disappointed by this step. This next step is basically putting all the ball links. And so the ball links are gonna be in this bag here. There's a bunch of them, okay? And yes, I have had planes that have crashed because ball links came off. And so we're gonna try to avoid that. Okay. So we have ball links for the elevators. So we have a you need to stop doing that. Just stay where you were. Elevator. You guys see they're moving the same direction? That's what we want. Okay, so now, two things. You can either do this with your thumb and forefinger, or you can hold this here and work them a couple of times, okay? We need to know where they anticipate we should put these in.
I'm gonna go check while you're
Yeah, do
twisting
that.
those.
But we're running out of time, so you're gonna have to work kind of quick.
Could do half and half.
I'm just basically turning these guys, just like what I showed you on that first go round. They all seem like they're almost pre-turned.
Okay.
Can you just tell me what hole to put it in?
Elevator is the second hole from the outside.
Okay, I don't know what that means.
second-
Because I'm not gonna just trust what you're telling me, because if it's wrong, it's gonna be catastrophic. So it's on the second from the outside, okay. So the second from the outside is here. It's very hard to see without light. So you're blocking my light. Actually, there, that's pretty good. Whatever you did just worked. Because now I can see, you see what I'm talking about there? Hard to get in, but once you're in, okay? So we got that one. And remember, the idea is you just want to work these in and out a couple of times so that the threads cut. Okay, and then same thing here, second hole down on the control arm from the servo. Now, if you want a little bit more control authority, you can go up one more, but you're going to lose some precision. Now, in order to check this, it's really easy. Are these all the same length? Crap, I didn't pay attention. Oops, there's some shorter and longer.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, look. Shorter, longer. Shorter, longer. 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 Shorter, 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 shorter.
So wait, you have a short.
So I have a shorter already on. So that would make sense because we're gonna have
one long.
two long ones.
Yep.
Probably here. Okay. And I want to actually go in from this side, it looks like.
Do you want to work that one?
I already worked them
Okay.
off camera.
All of them? Okay.
Well, when you were walked over there.
Yep.
So now you just grab this with your finger and your thumb, and then you want to get that lined up. So I obviously need to spin this out a little bit. So there's one, two more turns. Pretty close, one more maybe, one more half. Okay, there we are, so squared away. So we just hold this. If I go another half turn, how does it look? Another half a turn, and I feel like that's pretty much, wouldn't you say that's a little bit too much? I gotta go half a turn back.
Okay.
And I'm just pulling hard, John. Just kidding. Then I'm gonna snap this on. Oh, it doesn't feel good. But you can do it without a tool if you need the tool. It's called a ball link plier or pliers. Ball link pliers look like this. And we have links to stuff like this. And that just makes it a little easier to snap on. But it's mostly for snapping them off, okay? So now this obviously needs to come down. So I'm gonna take this, twist, twist, twist. I'm gonna hold this with my thumb and forefinger. Yep, a little bit more. Twist, pull hard. Definitely not coming off, John. And then there it is. Okay, so this is, the reason I say this is definitely coming off, John, is two brothers made fun of me for having a catastrophic failure of one of my linkages. And then later he apologized to me because he realized I wasn't actually wrong. And that was kind of funny, but it's no problem. No harm, no foul. Okay, so if you were trying to take this off, you would take this and you would put it in here and pry it off like that, and then just pull it off like that. You pull it like this, you'd press this. You gotta get here so they can see, hon. See that? That's how that works, and then it pops off, just like that. But in our case, we're putting it on, so we're gonna come back here from the back like this and just pop it on. So that's how these work. Now our elevator works. Elevator up, elevator down, yep, okay. So we don't really care what direction it goes so long as it goes a direction. The rudders are not hooked up yet, so we're gonna do ailerons and flaps. Flaps, of course, we want to be in, there's our, all the way, so that'd be like our that's our normal flight mode. Then this would be full landing flaps, so we need to reverse that. So I'm gonna just, you can either do it here in flap system. So this becomes plus 100, okay? Or you can just reverse the servo, but I'll just go ahead and clear that and go all the way to minus 100. Okay, so now that we have the elevators hooked up, I can go ahead and add in plus 6, and we'll just do plus 10 to start. So that should go down a little bit and down a little bit more, okay? So that's correct. And if you can't tell, just make this number bigger and it will move further. So like, if you're not sure, you can see it's like definitely going down, okay? So now I'm gonna clear that and scroll it back to 10. Okay, so now for flaps, I don't know if the flaps are set right, but just, this is our generic, there's our landing flaps and there's our normal flight mode. Now, sometimes on FMS models, we can exaggerate the servo's travel by going to the center and then kicking this up to 150. And I like to go a little bit below 150 just so we don't run into pulse width modulation rate ranges. That's hitting. See that? Show the people. You're gonna have to come over here. You're not gonna see it from that angle, I don't think. Here, like this. You guys see what I see? Watch this. Ah, dang it. Barely hitting. So because it's barely hitting, I'll probably back it off just a hair more. And that's important because if we want enough flap deflection, so we'll just go to like 140. I think we're good now. Yeah, so if we're touching, it's barely touching, okay? All right, so now with that being said, now that we know what direction it's going and all that, we can take our linkages and go ahead and start putting these on, okay? So on the flaps, they're probably gonna do the outside hole.
No, they have it the third from the outside or second from the inside.
Okay, so the third one?
Tight reach.
Okay, so we'll put it in there. That's gonna give it more power though, okay? So then on this one, you want that to be flush when it's in your regular flight mode. Okay, so this is regular flight mode, so I need to go in a couple turns, half turn, half turn, half turn. So there's 3 turns, holding this. Nope, still not there. Another half, another half, another half. Ooh, that's pretty close. I gotta come out half. You guys see what I'm doing? Get that nice and square so that the ball linkage doesn't put a lot of friction on there, okay? And then you can either snap it on or you can use your tool to put it on. And so in this case, I'm gonna put my tool up here to show you how much easier it is. When you line that up, snap it on. Why am I having so much trouble? Okay, there it is. Okay, so there's your takeoff flaps and landing flaps. Barn doors, baby. That's the way I like it. Barn doors are good, I'll take them. Okay, aileron.
Ailerons are going to the second outside.
Second from the outside.
Second from
Okay,
the
pay
outside.
attention. So second from the outside, slide it in, turn it. Now hold this where it needs to be. I just need a half a turn or so. Just make sure it's square and perpendicular to the linkage there. And that's right where we need it. If I go half a turn more, it's gonna be too long. Okay, so we'll just go there. And remember, this is not a subjective step at all. This is like it is what it is. You just have to do it right, okay? Now the ailerons move, okay? So we got ailerons, we got flap movement, we got everything lined up here. Now we just gotta replicate that over here. And camera crew and I are a little bit concerned about battery life. And we're trying to fly this like in the morning. So are we gonna be able to do this or do we?
We'll
just pause.
and
We'll
put
do this
these
and
on.
come right back when we're done on the ready for the other wing. All right, so we got the ailerons and the flaps all, connected. So you can see it moving. You can see the steerable moving. You can see the flaps moving. You can see the elevator moving. but we don't know if the directions are correct. Here's the catch. Sometimes when you flip the direction, the absolute position will change slightly, and I'm pretty sure the ailerons are going backwards. Now, interesting thing about the roll axis on a plane is you can check it upside down or right side up. It doesn't matter because you want the plane to roll, no matter what, the same if it's upside or right side up, okay? So if I roll this way, it's gonna go backward right now. So I have to go servo setup, travel, scroll over to reverse, ailerons. Okay, it didn't move the absolute position, so that's gonna roll the plane that way, that's gonna roll the plane that way. Elevator, that's gonna go up, that's gonna go up. Now this is upside down when you're upside down, okay? So when I pull back on the stick, the nose would go up, okay? The nose would go down. Y'all left, y'all right. I'll check that when I flip the plane over so I don't make any dyslexic mistakes. Now we have to do these things, which are gonna be easier, the vertical stabilizers and rudders. It's gonna be easier to just put it on its feet, okay? So we'll actually just put the plane stand out of the way for now, because we also can mark the center of gravity, but we can't test it until we have everything done, okay? So the next move is rudder left, okay? Steerable's going the right way, okay? So now we want to also go ahead and put these on right now, okay? So while we're still in the menu, okay, so they're going opposite directions of each other, which is fine because they are gonna actuate opposite directions of one another, okay? Which hole do we go into? According to the manual, the rudder says we wanna be in the last hole out, so all the way out.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so on the last hole out, ooh, we actually need to go underneath, so we have to go this way. How do I know? Because you can tell when you line up the output shaft. Ooh, come on. Well, that's gonna be challenging to get turned in, isn't it? So I'm gonna have to turn it in like this and then rotate it. See how I did that? Okay. So now that's, ooh, dang it, I was wrong too. I apologize, folks. Dang it, I feel like such a moron now. Okay, so now I gotta spin it around and then pull it down. I'm gonna just go from the top like I should have in the first place. Even if it was wrong, I would have been able to quickly test it. Okay, so center that thing. We need to go out, see from above, straight above, further. Pull your hand up, please. Thank you, it already focused, hold still. You guys see what I'm doing here? So as I rotate this out, we'll eventually get alignment. And just remember, give it a quick test before you snap it in, because we're getting close to the end of the throw, okay? All right, so now you can pull away. So I'm gonna hold this with my fingers. It's kind of forced over a little bit, so I wanna go half a turn. That's pretty darn square. And remember, sometimes when you snap them in, there's a small deviation, okay? And that tool's not gonna work with the darn because the bend is backwards, so I have to go this way if I'm gonna do that, and then snap it, okay? So now I can check my direction of travel. Y'all left, y'all right, very good. So it should be correct. And let's go ahead and do the same thing over here. Now guys, we apologize, we are gonna run out of memory here pretty quick and we're gonna run out of battery. I want to turn your light on since you're shadowing everything. I don't know if did that help? Okay, so that's gonna be pretty good there. I'm gonna snap this down. All right, so here it goes. So FMS looks like you made another cool plane. We'll see if it flies as good as we hope it will. And we're gonna mark the CG next, okay? So we obviously have to check the direction of control surfaces, but let's get this marked 150 to 160 from the leading edge where it mounts to the fuse, okay? So 150 to 160 is way back there, but I can do it with my calipers. So that's kind of nice. So there's 150, give it a little half turn. Okay, so I'm kind of guessing it's not, well, the way they show it, give me your opinion. They show it like it's going where it hits the fuse, not where it joins together.
Yep,
okay?
I agree.
Okay, so where it hits the fuse would be, let's call it there. So now you have to carry that over and make a mark. And same thing here, where it hits the fuse, carry it over and make a mark. And then we want to go to 160. We don't have another 10, so I'm gonna back this off. I'm gonna run this back, zero it. Yeah, because I wasn't sure if I'd maybe pulled it out. Okay, so now I'm gonna just make my mark this way to the second hole. So there's 10 millimeters back. That'll get us 160. And then I'm gonna darken this with my marker. And you're probably thinking to yourself that is butt ugly, and you're right, it is butt ugly. But yet I will know where it is. Okay, so now when we're ready to test it, hopefully I'll be able to reach my arms under there and actually test that. With the plane upside down, with the gear out is recommended, because remember, the CG has to be right when landing, but it doesn't have to be right the rest of the time because you can always leave the gear out. We can't test it yet though, because we don't know what the battery is going to be just quite yet. We have two 4000 4S's cooking, okay? Elevator up, elevator down. Roll left, roll right. Yaw left, yaw right. Very good. Takeoff flaps and landing flaps. Very, very good. Throttle cut's on. We're gonna go ahead and turn off throttle cut while holding the plane. We're gonna give it some throttle. That is a lot of thrust. Holy crap.
Okay. What percentage are you at?
Yeah, why can I not see?
No, roll over to the monitor mode.
There should be a throttle.
Look at 29. Holy cow.
Oh my crazy. Okay, now thrust reverse. Okay, now this is gonna be loud as you know what, because I'm out of throttle cut, I'm testing my pilot fatigue. Okay, yeah, that's really loud.
Yeah.
Oh, hurts the ears. Okay, throttle cut's back on. We now know that all the systems are go for forward programming. You think we can get it in, camera crew?
We got about 10 minutes.
Okay, so forward programming might be done in 10 minutes. We'll try our best. Forward programming, gyro settings, first time setup. Make sure all the crap is set right. We already did that, okay? Set the model level and press continue. Set the model on its nose, hit continue. This is so that it can orientate the receiver. Go ahead and click continue for me at your convenience. Now,
Continue. Yes.
does that orientation look correct to you?
Orientation 7 is upside down.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take its word for it. If in doubt, you're gonna know because the corrections are gonna be in the wrong direction, okay? Okay, so we'll just continue.
Not usually wrong.
It's only been wrong once.
Once.
Apply. And we've set up hundreds of planes. Throttle cut is on. Okay, receiver's rebooting, click. One dance. That means AS3X is on. First time safe setup. Flight mode channel. Oh crap, we gotta, I'm gonna hit next. I'm gonna hit back. I have to go to gyro settings, AS3X settings. Fixed adjustable, they're all adjustable, and you'll notice it doesn't change because we don't have the, where do we set that? F mode setup, there we go. The channel is going to be, you can either do switch D, I'm just recognizing I never actually set the flight mode to flight mode, because I can also set it, see this? I can exercise it and it'll know. But you can also set switch D in your channel select to FM flight mode.
But aux 1 is not D.
What do you mean?
Aux 1 is flaps. Channel 6 is flaps.
Ooh, okay, good point. Ooh, that's a good point. Okay, so we're gonna walk back out. We'll just pick one that's random and we'll come back and mess with it, okay? So walking out, go to system setup, disconnect RF, flight mode setup. See how it says switch D? Now watch this, channel assign. Doesn't matter what channel we pick. We can pick any of these unused channels, okay? But it looks like channel 7 is inhibited, but we're using that for
Steerable nose gear.
steerable nose gear. So we have that inhibited. So we'll use channel 10. I don't know why I'm getting my scrolly woolly pulley here. So switch D or scroll left and go flight mode, okay? Now watch this. Walking back to the regular menu, jump back into forward programming. Gyro settings, flight mode setup, FM channel. Now we can scroll that, highlight it. See, it's going to the default setting, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna scroll down to that.
Yes.
Now watch this. Boom, changing, okay? So in this mode, I want AS3X active. In this mode, I want it off. In this mode, I want AS3X active. Okay? Okay. So now we can walk back. We can walk back. First time safe setup. FM channel. Confirm it's correct. aux 5, yes. Continue. Select the desired flight mode setting for safe. Okay. Don't worry about the audio events. That's just a label. Okay. Now watch this. Level, model, and capture attitude. Oh, wow. Ooh. So there is quite a bit of pitch on that thing. Okay, so first thing you want to do is do it again if there's a big disparity. That's because there is pitch on that neck, and it's to the tune of 14 degrees, okay? All right, so you can make adjustments if you want, but I'm just going to trust it for now. In this mode, I want to turn on self-level and angle demand. And I want to allow for 60 degrees of pitch up and pitch down. Actually, I'm going to go 70 and 70, and then roll's fine at 60, okay? Now in this mode, I don't care, and in this mode, I don't care because it's not on. Then I'm gonna hit next, and I'm gonna apply. Now it's gonna reboot, and you're gonna see two dances. Chip, 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 chip. Ready? That means safe is active as an on, but not necessarily active, but it is active right now. How do you know? Sticks down and over, and you can see the movement. Watch, it'll move more when it's off, okay? Because you don't have the limited bank angles. Roll left, roll right, roll left, roll right. I'm doing this in each mode. Roll left, roll right. Elevator up, elevator down. Elevator up, elevator down. So you can see it's still working. Everything is still working, and it's very good. So throttle cuts on. I'm gonna click. I'm gonna go back to gyro settings. I don't know why you moved. Flight mode setting, nose wheel setup. The nose wheel channel is going to be channel 7. It's a pluggable, right? Mm-hmm. So channel, ooh, no, it's aux flap, then aux 2.
Yes.
Okay. The retract channel is, we don't know. It is currently extended. So learn travel, I guess.
You want to do the delay?
Yeah, let's do, it was like 4 seconds.
Pretty slow.
Okay, so now we need to put it back on the stand so we can test this function and not have a problem, okay? We haven't actually turned on AS3X because we haven't given the throttle, I don't think. Maybe we have. Camera crew, I might need your help. Might, okay? So now we're gonna lay this down carefully, make sure we're missing our nose gear door. But now you're gonna wanna be able to see that, obviously.
Okay.
But I need to be able to sit so I can see it too. Okay, so now I'm gonna go learn travel. Maximize rates for this channel, move channel to both extremes, and then hit apply. Okay, so now look, still moving. Gear go up. Is that gonna hit?
Nope. Sure.
Did it stop working? See, now look. It still works, but the stabilizer doesn't, okay? So don't confuse the stabilizer for your control, okay? So this currently says it's extended. Now it's gonna be retracted. Okay, so that says retract channel, gear, okay? So now we just need to teach it whether it's extended or retracted. That's now extended. Now that's retracted, okay? Pretty cool, right? So now let's count the sequence. To go down, it's 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6, good Lord, almost 7. You can do up to 20 evidently. I'm gonna go with 6. Is that 6?
Yeah.
It'll be down, okay? So now we don't need to reverse it. So now I'm gonna walk out of that. Then we can go into 4X. Okay. Let's look at gains. So the default gains on this mode are 40, 50, and 60 off, and then 40, 50, and 60. You can make those adjustments on the fly relative to this right knob should be that, but we've never set up gain. So fixed adjustable gain. So we have to do system setup, and we have to do the gain channel select. Okay, so gain channel, it's going to be on this. So let's do aux 4. And we walk back, walk back, walk back, walk back, walk back. We're at ×4. So this is all the way up. It's going to be intense. Okay, so now that it's on, we don't see anything working. And you're probably thinking to yourself, but why is there nothing working? Because we haven't given throttle. Throttle cut is now off. Forward thrust, over 25%. Throttle cut's back on. Now everything's working. Okay, watch the ailerons as I go up. That should go up, it goes up. As the ailerons go up, it should go up. Rudder should go the direction that we're moving it. Elevator should go the direction we're moving it. And look at the nose gear. Okay, we need to set up the nose gear. Is it moving right now? I can't tell. It's really kind of hard for me to see from back there.
No.
Nope, it's not, because the gain's not set up. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to go back into forward programming. Remember, this is test. We have our gain all the way up. Gyro settings, nose wheel. Learn travel, we already did.
5%. Yeah.
Okay, so maximize rates. Okay, and then go apply. So then where's the percentage? Next. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna go gear channel. Gear, okay. Rate gain, 100%. You can do less if you want, and then you can do heading holds and all sorts of stuff. So gain sensitivity, I'm gonna do 2 times. Now watch what happens. This thing should be moving right now. Like, see, it's not been applied, so it's not doing anything yet, okay? Watch. Now when I walk back, 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 back. Does it work yet? No, not yet. So let's cycle it once. Nothing, okay? Gear coming down. You should see nothing until it's down and locked. Okay, so we still don't have that turned on right. So then what we have to do is jump back into forward programming. Gyro settings, nose wheel, aux 2, extended, the delay, reverse, learn travel. Okay. Let's see if it's moving yet. Why is it still not moving? Are we not on aux 2?
No, we are, because 8 is reverse thrust. Which would be aux 3.
Because aux 1 is flaps.
Flaps, which is 6.
Okay, so we're definitely correct there. And I know our mix is definitely working.
Is the mix right?
Well, I think so, yeah. Okay, so the rate gain is 100%. The gain channel is not gear, it's aux 4. Gain channel, not gear channel.
That gain.
So now watch. Oh yeah,
There we
so
go.
it's resisting and it's working, and it should be working to the tune of double what the rudder's doing, okay? Now we're gonna retract the gear, and it shouldn't move at all,
Yep.
okay? So now when the gear come down, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5. Okay, so on the way back down, now it's gonna go live right now, okay? So that's really good. So sorry, our camera ran out of memory or battery or
Batteries,
something.
both,
So
all the
anyway,
above.
here we are. So we're back. We're gonna finish this up real quick. Okay, so obviously we know that the steerable nose gear is working. As soon as we retract this, camera crew is gonna hit the retract button. It should stop, and it did, okay? So we can go right back out, but it's still gonna have that deployment delay. So just remember that that will happen, okay? Because this is such a slow sequence. You have to remember that, because that might cause problems for some of you if you accidentally retract and then put them back out, okay? So that being said, we've tested the gear are working. We have all the surfaces working with the stabilizer, and so we have to test auto leveling. Okay, so stabilizer's on, elevator up, elevator down, roll left, roll right, yaw left, yaw right, And the steerable nose wheel is moving the correct direction.
Yep.
Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to check the direction of movement. So up is up, down is down on the aileron. Elevator up, elevator down, yaw left, yaw right. You can see it plain as day. It's very easy to see. I'm actually gonna, wow, the spring is very evidently worked at that angle. Did you see that?
I did.
That's crazy. So now the next thing we need to check is stabilizer on, stabilizer off. So obviously on, now off, very distinct. AS3X should still be working in safe. So I've now got this down in safe, and it says safe here. That's the label we made way at the beginning, off. And you can hear the audio call out. So we've tested that. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna test the master gain on the rotary knob. So it's all the way up right now. There's halfway down, and there's all the way down, okay? Now remember, the nose gear is gonna be a factor of double whatever the rudder yaw gain setting is, okay? So at this point, everything's working. We know it's all working in the right direction. Now we're in safe. So when I flip this over, you're gonna have to step back a little bit. We wanna see the plane attempting to recover the quickest route to level, okay? So it's obviously gonna roll this way, or it's gonna roll that way. Now, looking at the elevator, it should be going up, trying to recover. Now remember, this is also AS3X, so it's gonna change based on my movement. Okay, so now that it's down here and it's stationary, it's gonna try to level the plane, but it's still gonna resist movement, okay? So AS3X and safe are gonna work together, but they are different features, okay? So now I'm back to AS3X only. We obviously have all the direction of correction going the right direction, which is very critically important to get right, okay? Now, we obviously wanna fly about midpoint, okay? That's where I wanna start. I'm at 4x gains, which means it's way too high. It's too much. So what we need to do is we need to jump into forward programming again, gyro settings, AS3X settings, and then we can do the gain sensitivity down to 1x. Now, that'll be an immediate change. So all the way down, nothing. Halfway up, all the way up. You can see it's considerably less all the way up. Now at the 50% or so setting, that seems a little bit more like what we're used to seeing on planes. And yes, this is kind of a subjective thing until you get it in the air. Up, up, okay? Left, left, up, up. Everything's still working, okay? So it's very important, I can't stress this enough. If you hit me up in the comments and you say I crashed my plane, it rolled over on its back and blew up in a million pieces, that's because you didn't check. You have to check, you have to recheck, and then you have to check it again. If you don't do that, you're probably gonna make a mistake somewhere. And if you don't make a mistake on this plane, you'll make it on the next one. If you don't make it on the next one, you make it on the following one, and so on and so forth, okay? Just trust me, I try hard never to make a mistake that's unrecoverable because I have made them myself. I learn from those mistakes, and you should do the same thing. Learn from my mistakes so you don't have to make them. Now, also, these two settings are just the standard, okay? And then heading, I do not have heading lock on, heading hold on, okay? So you can do that if you want. And then the stop lock and the release rate are 35 and 35, and there is a next on this screen. These are just the defaults, 55, 55, and 75, and you'll see it's the same there. Now that is one of the features that I'm still not really 100% sure of on the way the AS3X Plus works as opposed to AS3X, okay? So AS3X Plus has that stop lock, and what that's gonna do is it's going to prevent when you're flying fast and it starts to overcorrect and create a stabilizer induced oscillation, then it will help to correct some of that. So you may need to play with those. I haven't had to mess with them yet, so we're probably not gonna on this either, okay? So back over here. So we are where we need to be. We have everything set. Safe is obviously set. We've already set all the angle limits. So that means that when we pitch up or pitch down, we'll be allowed 70. That's more than usual. And then 60 for rolls, okay? For roll limits. Also fixed adjustable gain. In this, it's fixed. In this, it's off. In this, it's AS3X mode. So in this, it says it's fixed, okay? Which is not a big deal.
Safe, you don't want to be able to adjust it, right?
Not necessarily. I don't necessarily need it to change. So then system setup, this is where you can change, relearn servo settings. So if you would make a change to your wing type or something like that, or you realize I need to reverse one of my servos, then you can relearn your servo settings, okay? Same thing with the orientation. We've already done that. That's what we did at the beginning where we put it on its nose. And that's another thing you can do if you would have a condition where the output seems to be opposite what you expect. It means your orientation of your receiver is probably mixed up. Okay, so get that right first. And then hand launch assist. It looks like this is already on. Now we're not going to hand launch this plane, but this is where you can play with different things. Okay. And by the way, it's inhibited. Okay, so you can make that so it's on. You can make it in certain flight modes. Okay, so I'm just going to keep it inhibited because we're not going to hand launch this plane. All right, now also if you need to, oh cool, look at that, gyro response test, that's where it is. That's where it turns the gains up like crazy, okay? Everything is like super high now.
Yep.
But also I'm going to turn my gain all the way up. It's going to be even more. But you don't necessarily have to change to 4X. You can do this. And then when you're done, just get your right rotary knob back to normal. Okay, so it says enable flight modes 3. Okay, aux output settings. Let's see what this is. Aux output wizard. We aren't going to do any of that on this plane, so we'll just walk back out of there. Okay, so that means we have set up dual rates and expo on F. We've got that set and ready to go. We have the control channels all moving the surfaces at the right direction. I'm rechecking them now. We have obviously the retracts working. We have the takeoff flaps, and now we have the landing flaps. Let's look at the takeoff flaps for a second. I think the takeoff flaps might be a bit much, so I'm going to go back into the flap system. This adjustment you can make without any problems. I'm going to back this off. So we'll probably go to like about 50, okay? So now if you'll look, we have more of like a takeoff configuration. So takeoff, then landing. And in fact, I think I might want to do just a little bit less than that. Let's do like, what if we did like 35? Yeah, that looks pretty dang good. And then that means I'm going to back this off just a hair, and I'm actually going to back off the elevator correction to 5 and 9, okay? For whatever reason, I feel like sometimes on jets, we just don't need as much elevator correction, and also AS3X Plus keeps it going straight. So we've noticed that we haven't needed it as much, okay? We already have our mixes set up, and so at this point, the plane should be ready to fly, but we haven't looked at telemetry. Whoops, I just adjusted my volume. Full disclosure, when our battery died, I charged my batteries on this too. Okay, so this gives us telemetry, min maxes, voltage right there, altitude. So you can do a vario on this if you want. We're not going to set that up because we don't want it on this plane, but there is your vario. We don't have any audio event tied to it. Okay, but then over here, if you want to click, you can scroll down, and where is audio events? Okay, so this is where you could do telemetry warnings, volts. I don't want a voltage low. I wouldn't mind a high. Okay, so this is ADAS. So you can have that, and you can have an alarm that is set to voice. And the warnings you can have happen like every 15 seconds.
Except you have your alarm on max and you want it on min, right? You don't care about the max volts.
You're right. Good point.
Yep.
Yes, thank you. So we'll just go to voice. Okay. Good catch. Right. And then you can do all sorts of other things. But for now, we're pretty much spent. This has been pretty much like what we expected. But anymore with AS3X Plus, it's just tipped the scales. So we're like we can't quite capture it on one battery charge, which is really annoying for me and the camera crew. But the thing is, what's not annoying is how awesome this plane has come together. it actually seems like it's gonna be pretty good. It also seems like it's super powerful. However, I don't have an 8S charger. I know that sounds crazy. So I'm gonna show you what we've got up our sleeves as far as batteries go, just so you guys know what to expect. And if you saw our maiden flight, hopefully we had a chance to get a maiden flight and had good luck. So this is a 6S 5000. It's 70C China Hobby Line. That's what that stands for. And then our alternative, or probably where we're gonna start, is 4000 4S, okay? So these are gonna be in series. So we use a series adapter that's currently in the plane, but we also have, and these are charging right now, so I'll just pop these off the charger. Looks like they're all done. These are smart batteries, and they're hard packs from our boats. I know it sounds ridiculous, but they're 5000s. We're gonna pull them out of the Pro Boat stuff. But look at this. These are gonna be in parallel to make a 4S. 100C, 100C, similar condition, 2S 5000s, and a 4S 100C pack here as well. 4S 100C, we need 45C according to spec. These are only 30C. So this may not be quite enough.
These are 4000s instead of 5s.
So these are 5s. So what's gonna happen is we'll get a little extra weight because they suggest 5 to 5500, okay? Or 5000 to 5500. So what would happen is this series adapter, this is gonna be treated like one battery when these are hooked, okay? Then this will hook into that, and that will hook into that. Or excuse me, it'll go like this. That will hook to here, and that to here, and then this goes to the discharge lead into the plane. So by rights, you don't normally do that, but there's actually nothing electrically wrong with that. It's just a little bit unusual. I won't make a habit of doing it that way. In fact, we have some China Hobby Line batteries that should be coming that will help us to facilitate what we want to do. Now, the other thing you could do is if you had 2200s, you could do 4 2200s, 4Ss, which is a really popular size class. So we do have some China Hobby Lines, but we only have 2 of them. So we can't get away with it. And that's the problem, is that would still put us just under the curve for the size that we need. And also these ones, I think those
are 30Cs.
These are 30Cs anyway. So this would be a 30C is not gonna be technically acceptable. We do have some 30Cs in the smart packs, and they've been really good to us. So it's just frustrating because we have so many different packs. Like these are not even our normal. This would be like for these helicopters down here. These are 3000. So if we used 4 of these, we could also do that, because these are actually quite good batteries.
Those 4S? Yeah, those are 4S.
They are 4S. But the thing is, what you would do is you would use 2 of these in series, but then that's only 3000. So you would do 2 in parallel and 2 in parallel, which gives you 6000. That's a lot of battery. But the thing is, that's technically gonna be ranged for this, but it doesn't say the C rating. So you would have to tell if that's gonna be enough C rating or not, and I really don't want to cause a problem because I need those batteries for the helicopters. So lots to consider. If you get this plane, we didn't know if it was coming in 6 or 8S. We didn't know if it was coming in camo or orange, but we did know it was coming, okay? Because of the tight deadlines, we're pretty much up against a rock and a hard spot on which battery to choose. So when checking your CG, you have to put the battery in. You're gonna have to cheat it forward or backward to get it. Now I'm gonna show you how to check the CG. That's the only thing we haven't done in this video. So you have to take my word for it, because when we get ready to fly, we're gonna plop the batteries in there. So what you'll do is you will flip it over on its back with the gear down, preferably. And it's awkward when they get big like this, because the CG, can you get me lined up here? Help me.
Up. That's the, nope. Front hole's right there.
You realize I can't see. Just put it where it needs to be.
That's the front hole.
Okay. So then we're obviously tail heavy. And on the back hole, we're tail heavy. So that tells me the 2200 is significantly smaller than we need it to be. Good soft nose gear. Mains are definitely not super soft. They're much less soft. So if you land on the mains, you're gonna have a better chance at not hopefully totally losing control, but your nose gear is gonna be a little bit spongy, okay? You'll notice where my batteries are. If you would try to fly on something real small like this, I'm just gonna warn you, it's probably not gonna be heavy enough. You'll have to put nose weight up here. But alternatively, I just want to point out something. Look, you're not going to have much clearance here. You're not going to probably get batteries up here, okay? You're going to have to keep them back here, which means you're going to have a limited adjustability for your CG, okay? So just for grins and giggles, I'm gonna grab 2 more 2200 4S's, just so you guys can see if that's enough to tip the scales, pun intended. I'm not gonna even hook them up. I'm just using 2 more random 4S batteries to see if we can drop these in here. So that'd be a total of 4 batteries, obviously. A little bit of a unique circumstance. You'll notice they won't fit up there, okay? Because you can't get the lid on. But you might be able to put them back here, and I still don't think they're gonna fit because you don't have anywhere to put them. So then you're stuck putting them back here. But get this, you're still in front of the CG, okay? So that might be okay. But like I said, look at that. You can't get that thing down. So that's the next big technical challenge that the camera crew and I are gonna face, is how exactly are we gonna fit our dang batteries in here? And then are we okay with just putting a 6S in here? I honestly don't know if we can just plop. See, we're definitely hitting it, okay? So this is one of the big drawbacks to when people just randomly send you crap and you don't realize what you're getting, because we don't have any access to an 8S pack right now. And we're not really equipped for 8S. We're in the process of getting ready to be equipped, but we just aren't there yet.
Yep.
Okay, so hopefully we've answered all your questions. I am curious about this. Let's try this real quick.
Just weight-wise?
Yeah, let's see if it gets the CG good enough, okay? So
Okay.
we have 2 of these, and so I'll just grab the one that was just right off the charger. So this is a 5000 6S. Now, this is obviously not an 8S, okay? Throttle hold is on. I'm gonna go ahead and pop out the existing battery packs that we use for radio setup. We don't need adapters now because we're gonna be going straight. Okay, so we just got our audible alarms regarding all that. Okay, haven't been disconnected. I wanna be super careful so I don't jank up all my finish. Because this battery is gonna fit nicely in here. We have tons of lead because of the adapter, and that should give us a respectable connection. Oh yeah, we don't have any pressure on it, which is really good. Just make sure that if the battery were to shift just a little teeny bit in flight, you're not gonna lose your connection and kill your plane, okay? So this is just resting along that shelf. I'm gonna slide this around. Now I hate it, pet peeve is when these things are glued in and it is not. So that's good. So then you can pull it nice and tight. That'll give you a good purchase there. And we don't need a voltage alarm because we got voltage telemetry on this plane. Okay. Plug in the 6S. Okay. Now, one thing you're gonna have to watch out for if you decide to do this is that you're gonna have to change your arming for your telemetry voltage, okay? So if you go into audio events, telemetry warnings, you can go in here to volts, and you can change this to 9S. Why are you at 9S? It's now 6, okay? And it's as easy as that, okay? So once you're out, then you can scroll over a couple of screens and you'll see what you wanna see, which is the voltage, okay? So now, just for grins and giggles, I wanna see if we get throttle. A lot of power, okay? Now thrust reverse, pilot fatigue. Ooh, that hurts my ears. So throttle cuts on, the 6S will more than likely, I'm just curious, throttle cuts off. Let's try this. This is just one quick test. If the thing has a 1-to-1 power to weight ratio, then it's gonna be fine, okay? Right?
I would think so.
I'm trying to figure out if I need help for this.
Okay.
I just wanna see if I can get the thing to hover. So, okay, this is just really awkward with the flaps. I have like nowhere to hang on to it. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah. Just go ahead and throttle up.
Yeah, go ahead and give it throttle. Okay, go.
That's all the way.
So it's not quite 1-to-1, but it's really close. Remember, that's a fresh pack, so it's gonna be less than that. Now, you don't need a 1-to-1 to fly a plane, okay? Throttle cut is on, and it's tested. So on 8S, it's gonna be crazy. On 6S, you're probably gonna be a little bit starved for power, okay? So,
Were you gonna check the CG on 6S before you take that
yeah,
out?
so where the battery is, let's see how the CG works out. And I'm nervous that we're not gonna be heavy enough to be able to do this. On the front hole, we're tail heavy. On the back hole, we're pretty dang close to tail heavy. So that means that we're still probably too small with this battery pack. So that means we're gonna have to go up to our humongous battery pack, which is this one. And now I gotta figure out if this thing fits. Because we have to make it heavier so that its nose are heavier.
Nose are heavier, but if you get the 6S, the plane's not smaller.
What are you talking about?
I mean, like the weight isn't that different. If you get the one that's 6S equipped instead of 8S.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but it doesn't
Like if you can't get it to CG out.
That's not true. There's more weight. The motor is different.
I know, but it wasn't that much.
The motor's different, though. It is in fact different.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you understood that.
No, I do.
Okay, because you were acting kind of like you were maybe not sure if that was true. Okay, so we'll just see. I do not know if my lead's going to reach now. That's a monster pack. It is so huge. It's a weird shape. This one is.
Very weird shape.
Because we've had 7,000s, which that's the other thing. The problem is our 7,000s are 30Cs.
Yes.
From Horizon, the smart
Yeah, I think
packs.
they are.
Okay, so remember, we're talking CG now. We don't even really care if it plugs in. So we know we got to put the lead back if it doesn't reach, which, yeah, it's not going to reach without an adapter. Now, I'm not saying we couldn't use an adapter, but let's just say that we're not going to use an adapter. So it's got to go back in there. So what type of adapter could we use? There's a million different choices. I think for now what we're going to do is we're just going to see if the CG will work out.
Right.
So keeping in mind that this battery lead does actually have a little bit of weight to it, so I'm just going to stuff it down there. Let's see if this thing CGs. Okay. All right, so we have 1, 2. On the front hole, we're tail heavy. On the back hole, we're close to tail heavy. Here's the catch, and this is huge, huge. If you fly a jet and you want it to come in and flare for landing, you usually need to ride closer to tail heavy, slightly. Okay, you don't want to have a super nose heavy jet because the performance on the flight is going to be maybe not as desirable. If you want to do aerobatics and things like that, you want to favor close to tail heavy. Some people would say straight up tail heavy. They want the center of gravity moved back. They want the thing, you know, if you move the center of gravity back, it's like nose heavy. But you want to bring this forward and then make it pivot. Your elevator gets more effective with less output if you are in a tail heavy configuration, okay? So my suggestion to you is make it nose heavy until you're comfortable, or make it even or close to neutral, and you'll probably be okay. Now, if you want to add a little bit of nose weight, you can add a little bit of nose weight, and with this bigger battery, you're probably gonna get close enough to where you need to be. But can we pull it up on the shelf? I do not know. Let's see if we can do that right now. It looks like we have enough strap to get away with it.
But I don't think your canopy's gonna close.
That's a good point. Yeah, it sticks down. So that ain't gonna go. Not without carving.
Right.
I hate when we have to carve out of planes.
And I don't want to carve it for the wrong battery.
Yeah, exactly. Because if we have an 8S configuration, we might be okay.
Right.
So at the end of the day, we're gonna get these batteries charged up, or the beginning of the day, depending on how you look at it, because we have clocks and they definitely say it's tomorrow. So we're gonna charge both of these and we're gonna see what we can get them to do. My concern, guys, and I just want you to be aware of this, when you get a plane and you don't have the CG right, there is a high probability that the plane is not gonna fly as good as it should or could, okay? If you get the CG spot on, then there's a high probability that you're gonna get the best you can out of a plane, okay? If the center of gravity is not right, then that becomes a question for everybody to ask, you know, did you have the thing tail heavy? Did you have the thing nose heavy? And what can we learn from your crash? That's what I don't want to do. Because this was enough work, I'd really like it to work well.
Yeah.
But like I said, we do technically have a 4S here and a 4S here. We can make an 8S with 2 adapters.
That isn't gonna fit in there, I don't think.
Those batteries?
Yeah.
The hard packs are too big?
The 4 2200s didn't fit.
You're right. Yeah. Well, they might.
Do you have magic batteries somewhere?
Well, these ones are heavier though. Let's see how it CGs with these two.
What are those two? Oh, the two 4000s.
This is the two 4000s, but they're 30C packs, guys. So it makes me nervous. And she's sitting here every 15 seconds giving me a status alarm, a warning, because we set them up that way.
Right.
Okay. So we're loading it from the front to the back with the wires up front. Here's why. Because there's going to be a parallel or a series adapter in this case, because these are two 4S packs. Okay. So we're tightening that up nicely. Our shelf liner is going to help. And then obviously that strap will be in better repair for tomorrow. And then of course we can use exactly this adapter from our 4Ss previously. They're going to plug in here and plug in there. Now keep in mind you need to use batteries that are similar charge if you're going to be using them in a series or parallel application for best results. Okay. So now we'll plug that in. We'll make sure everything initiates as we expect. It will. And then I'm going to get my straps. The back strap is like right on the edge of being where I want it, but it's not quite there. And so I'm not real thrilled with that. I want to see if I can get this thing to even line up, you see? See, now I'm getting warnings about my flight pack too. And I wonder if it's startup warnings. Okay. If you block me with that, it's going to be kind of frustrating for me, so try not to if you can avoid it. Okay, so now I'm gonna pull this tight. Okay, so we've got that in there, ready to rock and roll. It's obviously got plenty of reach. And then these two, they're not long leads on these 4000s. Okay, for whatever reason, they're not very long. They're way shorter than like every other battery we have, okay? So then let's see if this goes on, and it does, okay? So the next step would be, let's go back to telemetry, volts.
Why does it keep changing?
I don't know, it's because it's stupid.
No, you're ADAS, right?
Sorry, guys. So then I want to go to audio events, telemetry warnings, volts, and it looks like we don't have any startup, okay? So we'll go back, and we're back to the main screen. Timer's cleared. We're gonna go ahead and check for CG now. So many steps to get a plane from the box to the air. Okay, front holes, tail heavy, back holes, tail heavy. We're probably 8 to 10 millimeters behind the center of gravity to get that thing to balance out. I'm gonna just go with, that's probably as good as we're gonna get. I'm not modifying this until I know that it flies terrible, okay? Because I don't think it's enough to matter. I also don't know that I trust their specs, okay? I am confident that this thing is gonna do okay with that. It's a big plane, 10 millimeters. 8 to 10 millimeters is probably not gonna make a huge difference, and we should be able to flare for landing. However, if our pitch sensitivity is an issue, we're gonna know that that's something to keep in mind. The other thing is we can do nose weight, and there is room to get nose weight in here, but you wanna do as little dead weight as possible, so you'd wanna put it up here, okay? So just a couple of thoughts. There is a vent right here where my finger is going, okay? So you can sneak it way up here inside the canopy, because that is an active vent, okay? So right up there, if you needed to get some of those lead stickers, and you can add that if you need to. But again, the other thing, I can't implore this enough, getting the correct battery for the plane is almost always the best idea, okay? All right, hopefully we answered all your questions and didn't lead you down the wrong path. But at the end of the day, we try our very best to give you guys good information here on Brian Phillips RC. There's a lot of questions to be answered when it comes to new planes. And when we get challenged, it's with new, bigger jets and AS3X Plus and some different settings that are coming out. But the best way to get better is to do it a few times, okay? That's why we go through the full radio setup. We show all these steps, and it's a long, somewhat tedious, painful video to watch. But if you need help here on Brian Phillips RC, we are gonna take you from the chair to the air if you'll let us, if you'll come with us, okay? So we hope we answered your questions. If you want to help support us, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. Smash the like button, click the bell for notifications when you subscribe. There's lots of new content coming all the time, especially right now. And if you do that, we'd much appreciate it. When you do buy it from the links. That helps to support our channel with small commissions from FMS or whatever manufacturer we happen to be working with. Obviously the AR 8360T, you can get that from Horizon. You get the model from FMS, and get some China glue or some foam to foam. Of course, foam to foam is not what we used. We used the China glue on this one. I do like the China glue slightly better than the foam to foam because it goes on super sticky right away, and the foam to foam sometimes gets like almost like a film over it. So they both work really good though, okay? Also, the NX10 has been good. Our scrolly wheel's been giving us a little bit of fits lately. We've cleaned it a couple of times, and that's the only update we can have on this, but we have hundreds of models we've used it and abused it. So probably a little bit more than the average user, okay? So just keep that in mind. And the scrolly wheel is really used for setup, and that's what we do a ton of. Most people don't set up near as many models as we do, okay? So keep that in mind. Okay, so then other ways to support us, Patreon, monthly support. YouTube members is also a monthly support, so thanks for being those members. And then YouTube super thanks, one-time donations there, and then one-time donation through PayPal. Just remember, friends and family, we don't give them fees for no reason. If you don't, I mean, if you really want to, you can. But really at the end of the day, the best way to support us is just buy amazing planes, helicopters, quads, VTOLs, or whatever it is we happen to be reviewing at the time, whether it be the transmitter, the receiver, the battery, or some replacement part. By the way, if you're looking for a manual, follow our link, scroll down, you can find manuals for almost every product that we do. Or if you want to compare this product to another product, we have tons, literally thousands of videos right now that are for your consumption at brianphillipsrc.com. Or you can go to bprc.me, that's your short link. It's a little easier because you'd have to spell my name, Brian Phillips, and rc.com, okay? That's our website, same place, different links to get you there. All right, did I leave anything out? I hope I didn't. We still don't know what that other plug is. I have no idea, and I don't really care. Because at this point, I'm spent. It's like 1:15 in the morning. So this is what happens when we have tight deadlines. We stay up super late just so we can eat dinner as a family in the middle of the night so China can have their ridiculous release time. And that's part of the reason why we complain about it, because we really don't have any other option. And Mother Nature wins because we are subject to Mother Nature, no matter how stupid their policies are with these particular affiliates. That's not to say we don't like their planes, but it does make life really difficult for us because we love these planes. It just sucks all the joy out of it. And it really is hard. But we want to help people. That's our aim. New people, returning people. If you're just brand new to the hobby, we want to get you up to speed. This is not the plane to do it in. If you're watching this and you think, but Brian, I fly full scale. It doesn't matter. You need the skills, you need the muscle memory. We'll get you there. But it takes a couple other planes in the middle. This would be a terrible place to start, okay? If you do, you'll probably be done with this plane too, okay? That's what we want to avoid, one and dones. It's a big part of our mission here on Brian Phillips RC. So thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of it. And if you have questions or comments, leave them down below. We'll do our best to get back to you. And definitely check out the Super Scorpion. If you haven't seen the maiden flights, it's a separate video. And then the Unbox build radio setup is all together. And they're both available at the same time, plus or minus a minute or two, at the release times. So thanks for being here, and come back for more.